clowns, and pick monkeys.
These dudes got some serious issues.
Hi guys, welcome to Shooting the Shit episode 4. Current date is the 6th of the 10th, 12. Oh, that's a recording date. This will probably be up sometime next week, so either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm Chris, or Kalel, or whatever the hell you want to call me, CMAC on Twitter. Kalel Reviews. You should know me by now. If you're a new listener, welcome. We talk about toys and rubbish. We've got with me today one of our main regular hosts, Dave, or Hursticon. He's been on a little absence, but he's back, as you can hear. And Nam's back from last week, so say hello, guys.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, what, where?
You twits. Nam, you want to let us know how your week's been?
Incredibly busy, but I did acquire a new batch of toys recently. Surprisingly, I think I told you guys quite a while ago that I was getting the Ironhide and Ratchet, the knockoff ones. No, not knockoff, but the third-party ones. Medical and weapon specialists.
We'll talk about them later, though.
Yep. Got those and a small shipment of old bat planes, bat wings and bat boats.
Okay. And you're very busy with work?
Yes. So I haven't had much time to play around with my toys.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yes, it is.
Dave, how's your week been, mate?
Well, at least since I was last on, been keeping pretty busy. I've recently started some mandatory volunteer work around Lake Illawarra. Basically, just
not one of those blokes in the orange jumpsuit with the stick picking up rubbish on the freeway?
No, orange clashes with my eyes. No, I'm in the yellow, and I have tongs rather than a stick. I've also been doing a bit of backfilling and cement work, laying some footpaths around the lake for the Lake Illawarra Society up here.
Okay.
So, long, dirty, tiring days. Past couple of trips, I've been basically barrowing about 30 barrow loads worth of dirt. Apparently, these spoil heaps have been close to 20, 30 ton worth of dirt. So,
that'll keep you fit.
Well, surprisingly, I haven't carked it yet. But mind you, I go through about 3 litres worth of water a day. And never needing to piss either, which is kind of concerning.
Bit scary.
Maybe you lose all of it for your sweat. So
that, or I have my own personal interdimensional portal somewhere. But
Time Lord technology in there.
No, I was thinking maybe a little bit more animated swim, but yeah.
And myself, just had a cruisy week. I had a throat infection, so haven't been doing much, and not eating or drinking much either, because it hurts too much to swallow. And on that note, if I do talk a little weird this episode, please excuse that, because I'll be halfway through a word and it will just go all over the place, and I have no control over it, which is pretty usual for me anyway, but more so. Especially if you listen to my... Oh, see, I can't talk half the time. Especially if you watch my reviews, you'll see how much I do that.
Your brain's running faster than your mouth.
Oh, yeah, always. But no, not much for me either. And I think we'll start off talking about the news. Now, it's been such a boring fortnight for Transformers. We got this stupid Encore figure coming out.
Stupid.
I think Encore 23.
Stupid.
Fortress motherfucking Maximus.
Stupid.
I was being facetious, you idiot.
Ah.
Trying to ruin my intro?
Yes.
Anyway, guys, if you hadn't figured, Encore 23 from Takara is Fortress motherfucking Maximus.
Fortress Maximus.
And that is fucking awesome, because it's Fort Max. And everyone doesn't have to pay fucking thousands of dollars for this stupid thing anymore.
And that's just getting it into the country.
On to Nerdgasm. It started off at $350 on the pre-order. It's already down to $330, and don't you bet your bottom dollar that I fucking pre-ordered that motherfucker.
Yep. I saw that pretty quick, Smart. You were pretty quick to hit that button.
Oh, man. I woke up, jumped on the Twitters, seen all the boys over in the States posting up these, because obviously, like you, Dave, I wake up in the morning, I've got to catch up on fucking 9 hours of tweets.
This morning, man, there was 72 friggin' tweets. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, yeah, I caught up on them. All of a sudden, pre-order is up for Fortress Max. I'm like, yeah, what a fucking... Keep scrolling. Another one. Nah, he must have caught on with that other bloke. Another one. I'm like, fuck, I'm checking this shit out. All of a sudden, Big Bad Toy Store, pre-ordered, price tag. Man, I would have paid $500. I'm happy. And here's the kicker. It's Japanese. It means it comes with a god sword. No freaking rubber bits on it. Everything will be how it should be. It will come with all the accessories. And if anyone knows me, you know I like fucking big robots.
As do I.
And I like headmasters. Headmasters are freaking cool. Bit like bow ties. And
what a comparison. Bow ties and headmasters.
Hey,
you're not
a lot of people will know what I'm talking about.
Bow ties are cool.
Fort Max, it's fucking 2 foot tall, badass piece of plastic.
15.40 pounds.
Yeah, it's freaking heavy. Put it this way, postage cost to Australia is $104.
But don't forget to mention where.
What's that?
Where it's coming from.
Oh, yeah.
See, which sort of segues to one point I want to make, and why I'm excited to hear the announcement, but slightly reserved, because whilst we've got a number of American stores jumping for joy over it and, you know, got pre-order listings up and all that sort of thing, the stores from the native country that this thing's coming from haven't got it in.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's concerning me, because normally Army and HLJ would have been leading the pack, especially when you've got something as substantial like this coming out of their own country. So unless these stores have somehow annoyed Takara, which seems highly doubtful to me.
Yeah.
I mean...
The other thing is with this is, like, for me, for example, I have pre-ordered it with Big Bad, just in case. It's a placeholder for me.
Fail safe.
Yeah, so I normally would get stuff from Robot Kingdom because it's a lot cheaper to bring across, and generally their sticker price is a little lower. But if that doesn't happen, I've secured one. So
yeah, exactly that. I mean, not to be a downer on it. I mean, for me, you know, this has been mine, much like I say pretty much 90% of all other collectors. A grail for me ever since I started my fledgling G1 collection, and you know, the prospect of being able to own one in my lifetime without it costing me $15,000 in the process, you know, that's awesome. I feel confident that I won't need to pre-order it immediately.
No, I think you've got a bit of time.
Well, yeah, because it's such a large thing, and the postage alone is probably going to off-put a hell of a lot of people. But
I did hear that that postage cost would cover 2 of them under how the postage system works.
How the US postage system works.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that might make sense.
And if that's true, I'm not sure, but it's what I've heard through the grapevine. That will make it a lot easier. $52 postage is quite palatable.
Well, I've bought a lot of things from Big Bad Toy Store before, and I had 2 massive boxes. Probably both of them were capable of holding about 4 Fortress Maximus. and I paid about the same price, $120. Maximi. I paid about $120 postage to Australia, and I was for two giant boxes capable of holding 4 of them. So
I'd imagine that if you and another bloke wanted to get in on it, you'd probably be able to get 2 of these under that one flat rate. But it's easy enough to just ask on Big Bad Toy Store or wherever you're buying it from and see what is covered under that postage rate.
I suppose the other benefit with BBTS too is if this ends up all turning into a load of hoopla, at least you haven't had to sink the money in on it. Whereas that's sort of the only niggling thing with Robot Kingdom is that you have to pay up front, and that kind of sucks a little bit. Hence why I was sort of hoping that HLJ or Army would have their pre-orders up. Namely because geographically they're closer to us here in Australia, and therefore postage might be a little bit cheaper, and the whole thing overall might be a little bit cheaper. I've got no qualms with buying stuff from the US. I've realised now that unlike between us, Britain and Hong Kong, we don't have heavily subsidised postage routes with the US, sadly. So we pay the full amount.
The other thing with the US is it's such a weird international postage system. I bought off a couple of TFW guys some items. One of them took 6 weeks to get here, and the other took 5 days. Only difference was one had to come from the eastern side of the States, and it had to go from there to an international sorting facility and then to Australia. The other guy's in Texas. Texas has an international sorting facility. So it was instantaneous how quick it was on the plane,
Yeah, exactly Exactly
Now, we'll move on from the money and postage side of this thing, because let's face it, it's fucking cheap.
Well, comparatively,
compared to what it is to buy an original.
An original, yeah.
Which has suddenly started hitting eBay in droves.
Yes, because everyone wants a full-on, complete one, and segues into my next point, modern plastic technology. 20-odd years of advancement in how plastics are made. So, with any luck, that whitening issue isn't so vicious.
Well, yeah, it certainly will be a good thing if that is indeed the case. A lot of people will complain that it's a little bit more brittle, and yeah, fair enough, it may be. I mean, I myself don't have really any of the latest reissues beyond what's his name, Hursticon, and he's not too bad. He's not too bad.
Mind you, if you're worried about it being brittle, you've been too rough with your toy.
Well, exactly that. I mean, they're relics, really. They're not really the sort of thing that you would hand to a 5-year-old. And if you're going to hand a Fortress Maximus to one of today's 5-year-olds, I think, one, you clearly have too much money, and two,
we've been down this
you
route
clearly
before.
have no sense. But I mean, for me, Fortress Maximus, it's less so about, there's that great big expensive figure. I just like the fact that it's a 2-foot tall robot that has its own independent robot for a head who has its own independent robot
for its head.
I mean,
and for me and you, Dave, it's a big fucking robot.
Well,
that's all it needs to be.
Exactly that. I mean, it would have been even cooler had Takara managed to go with their original design specs, where Fortress Maximus not only was going to be a headmaster, he was also going to be a target master and power master. So, so people who are surmising whether or not this version of the figure is ever going to see any remoulding or retooling, if you're going to have anything on your wish list, those are certainly two that I'd have.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you going to pre-order this, Dave?
You bet your titties.
Well, I just lost my titties. It's obviously I've already pre-ordered it. Nam, you going to pre-order this?
I already pre-ordered as well.
There we go.
Yep.
Now, honestly, guys, like, if you know me, you probably already know this. If you don't, here's the thing. I'm not a big G1 collector. I've got a few figures, but for me, if I'm buying G1, it's either new...
You're not a true fan.
Fuck off. For me, it's either new in box or it needs to be in minty, crisp condition. And I'm not that anal about it, but I figure I can buy a lot of better, newer stuff. Like, at the moment, I'm collecting a lot of the old Cybertron figures and that. So, yeah. The thing is, there's only a few robots in the G1 line that really tickle my fancy. This is one. Most of the headmasters are, for me, and a lot of the Japanese G1. So this hits all the bases for me. So it's definitely coming my way. And what a good birthday present for me.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, well, I've got to pay for it, but it's still around my birthday.
I'm still waiting on my own birthday present to myself, and apparently that won't hit until the end of this month.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Any more points on that for you blokes?
No.
Initially, I wasn't really interested in Fortress Maximus, like the original G1.
Get off my podcast.
No. Let me
I'm curious. Go on.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm
talking about the G1 one. So the G1, the original. Version, the one. Yeah, that cost like over $1,000. I wasn't interested.
No, $1,000 is for a Brave Max.
Well, $1,000 will get you a loose, probably slightly browned version. Mint
in box, Fort Max, upwards of $2,500 minimum.
Especially if it's the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Like Chris, I'm not a huge G1 fan, G1 toy fan, and about this figure, I never really wanted it in the first place, but then I saw it at this price, and I figured, hey, it's pretty good for this price, so what the heck, I'll get it, so.
Yeah, well, that's alright. And here's the real cool thing, or another real cool thing, that God Sword, guess how big that peg is?
How big?
Guess.
1/4 of an inch?
No, the handle size, what do you reckon it is?
The hilt. Call it what it is.
Hilt? I don't know. Tell me.
Dave?
I have seen it in person once, but not long to really, get out the old tape measure. But I'm going to take a stab and say it's a 5mm peg.
That's the one. I would imagine it's within a B stick of a 5mm peg.
I just had a weird...
Put it this way, I've seen the Dark Matter Caliber Micron set in Fort Max's hand. Our board member Sharky did that. And if that fits well, I'm guessing that you can probably put that God Sword in a figure's hand.
I was just thinking the God Sword in Voyager Prime Megatron's hand would look pretty cool.
You know what I like doing with those giant weapons? Is getting like the smallest figure I can.
Deluxe figure or something.
I had a picture of Cybertron Breakdown with the Micron sword that's like 4 times as big as him. Anyway, Fortress Mofo Max is coming out and everyone's having Hursticasms.
I'm surprised that it hasn't sold out, the pre-order.
It's a lot of money.
True.
And there's so much going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. There's a lot of things going on, and there hasn't technically been any official word yet. We're all taking it on the word of what BBTS has said.
I will storm Takara if that shit doesn't come out.
Just like show up at Takara headquarters with like your own God Sword. like a 5-meter long sword.
Drag it along the ground like Silent Hill style.
And then the Takara workers are like, oh my god, it's Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy.
Okay, next subject in tweets.
What?
See what I've got to put up with? This is why, in the intro of this podcast, it has that sound clip from Expendables. Clowns. Our next news is Masterpiece MP10B Black Convoy. and Frenzy Rumble and Buzzsaw have been announced. They all look freaking sweet, and I wasn't too fussed about this Black Prime until I saw the pictures, and now I want it. The Frenzied Rumble, just like Laserbeak, and also there's a picture of Ravage there too, and as usual the links will be in the description for the podcast. They all look very cool and well engineered. Now I'm going to throw to Nam first because Dave will have plenty to say about this. Nam, what are your thoughts on that?
I already pre-ordered the Soundwave, so it
makes
sense so it makes sense to pre-order the Rumble and Ravage and the Frenzy and Buzzsaw set.
This is the medium end podcast, guys. We're not quite high end, we're not low end, we're medium end. All right.
With those tape cassettes, they look pretty awesome, and I can't wait to see them in my hand. And with the Black Optimus version, I've never actually seen the original one in person before, so I can't really make any judgments on this black one. But until that local release,
that mold is unreal.
Well,
and the fact that he looks so badass in black.
Well, that's something I don't know if I mentioned it on the last episode, but when I got the Masterpiece Optimus Prime for the very first time, I bought it about a week before the MP10 came out, and I spent about $360 on MP04.
You poor bastard.
I went home and like, oh, this is really cool, and then the next week I look online, MP10 announced. You son
$250.
You were one of those poor bastards who got bitten by the final version ever.
All jokes aside, Evangelist brought this up very well. This is the reason MP10 didn't go ballistic in the market. It's because they just released the final version of the MP01 mold, and all of a sudden, a month or so later, here's MP10. So everyone's gone, oh, well, now it's oversaturated, I don't really care.
But, yeah, like, I won't deny that the MP10 looks awesome, but when we get that local release at Toys R Us in Australia, which I think it was $150 or $107, is that right?
Yeah, between $100 and
$149.95. I checked with my local Toys R Us 2 days ago.
Yep, has it already come out?
No,
it's coming out very shortly.
It will hit this month, but the way Toys R Us works, I don't know about the States, but I know at least in Australia, basically our stores don't, well, they have no idea what they'll ever have until it arrives at the dock. Literally, that's how they work. Which I don't know how they function like that, but
no, they
I
have
suppose
a monkey
that's why they have
in a storeroom. There's a monkey in a storeroom with a D20 sitting there, and he has a list sitting next to him, 1 to 20, with store names, and he rolls that fucking dice, and whatever it lands on, that's who gets shit.
So what you're saying is Toys R Us of Australia have hired direct from Hasbro Australia, have they?
Yeah, it seems like it. Right.
Well, yeah. So until I get that local MP10, because that's much cheaper than the Takara version, if I like it enough, I'll definitely pre-order this one as well.
I guarantee if you buy that MP10, you will want this black version.
I probably will. Yeah. So I don't see no harm pre-ordering right now, which I might do right now. So I'll add it to the cart, and all right, let's go. Done.
I love
another 3-foot tall box coming Nam's way.
Well, because it's BBT, yeah. So if anything goes south, I can always just cancel the pre-order with no charge. So it's all good.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah,
they're good that way. Hursticon.
That's my name.
Hit us with your thoughts.
Okay. With regards to Black Optimus, as I suppose, or Black Convoy, rather.
Don't be fucking racist. He's African American Optimus.
Decepticon Optimus.
Not touching that one.
Come on, you got a bait.
Look, I wouldn't mind getting a hold of this mold one way or another, and I would like to get the local release version, but if this particular repaint goes for roughly the same amount, because bear in mind this isn't coming with a trailer, and it also won't be coming with the spike or... And I imagine half the accessories. It looks like it's just
to cover research and development costs either.
Well, yeah, it's just going to basically be the prime mover and the gun. So, well, at least that's what the pictures suggest. So if this ends up costing about $150, I might actually go this way, because I have had an MPO4 for zonks now, and I'm perfectly happy with it. The fact that Australia was getting a local release, and for as cheap as it was of the MP10 mold, I thought,
$200
may as well, But yeah, I like the fact that it's got a Decepticon logo. I've always liked red tinted windows on any black Transformer. That's why I think it's Wild Rider from the Snundercons. He has always been one of my preferred characters from that team. But I mean, for me, the whole Nemesis Prime, being
Scourge.
the Scourge, they're just imposters. They're imposters. The real rival to Prime on the road was always Motormaster. I don't like seafood. Can you please stop talking about that? But yeah, I'm also quite relieved to see that there was a big stink when the initial silhouette of this figure was shown or leaked. Because everybody was like, oh my god, they're repainting it. Fair enough, it's being repainted. But the main concern was the fact of its numbering. Everybody thought this was going to be MP16. No, but in actuality...
It's a repaint, and what has the history of repaints been?
It gets a original number.
The original number with a letter. Calm the fuck down, everyone.
Yeah,
fucking hell. So I avoided those threads because I was like, I'm going to rage on these people.
Well, the B usually stands for black anyway, doesn't it? Or
it can.
Or just, it's you had MP10A, MP10B.
So yeah, no, I'll be interested to see what price tag gets attached to this bloke. But as for the MP cassettes, well. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say because there wasn't any question that these weren't going to end up in my possession. I will say that it's awesome to see that Ravage can pose in his classic artwork pose.
Ravage looks fucking cool.
So as so brilliantly displayed here in these pictures, which will be linked to in the threads. I have seen some people complain that how can you do Masterpiece cassettes in Frenzy and Rumble and not have their pile drivers as part of the cassette mold proper? If you honestly think that...
how could they do it?
Well,
use a bit of common sense, guys.
Well, it's the sort of thing.
Happen.
Takara are Japanese and they are insane engineers. Thing is, though, I don't quite think they've mastered mass shifting yet.
Yeah, so. I'm sure if they could have done it...
In about 20 years, they probably will, but not now.
I'm sure if they could have done it in an acceptable manner, where it didn't compromise the masterpiece nature of these cassettes, it would have been done. That being said, it hasn't been done, so therefore, there's your answer. I'm going to be straight out and blunt with this. Get over it. They're making masterpiece cassettes. If you can't handle the fact that they're going to have separate pile drivers, don't buy the freaking thing. Look at Laserbeak and Ravage. If they're not good enough for you to put up with those pile drivers, then you've got issues.
Yeah, exactly. Just, just ignore it.
I'd rather have good-looking power drivers than some dodgy-looking ones that came from a compromised version. If you get
That's exactly right.
Exactly, Nam. Exactly that. It's the sort of thing where a little bit of parts forming can actually be of benefit to a figure, as opposed to a compromisation. And I mean, like, you imagine, like, I'm looking at the Japanese Rumble here, which is red. The proportions of this cassette minion in a humanoid form, like, it is absolutely astounding. Like, just as a little robot man, he looks awesome.
And people are going to remember, these cassettes are G1 size. They aren't twice the size or anything, so they've engineered this level of detail into such a tiny little thing, especially, again, for Ravage and Laserbeak, especially Laserbeak, that shit all over that thing, and now Buzzsaw as well, with the engines and the guns and all that sort of stuff, feet, the head, and then it turns into this flat little cassette.
I'd love to see the design brief that was handed in to the engineers from head office, because the fact that it must have said...
You know what would happen? This little Japanese bloke, glasses on, little pocket protector, walks in with his bit of paper, your little blueprint, design, sketches and all that, into the bloke in the office that he signs the paperwork to say yes or no. Guy walks in, puts it on his desk. The other guy stands up, grabs a box of tissues, walks out the door.
Yeah, no, I do. I like the Frenzy Rumble mold that they've achieved with the design brief, clearly stating that you have to use the same dimensions and mass that you basically have with the originals. And look what they've been able to achieve, almost 30 years later. Ravage looks, I'm going to say, I reckon he looks perfect. It's brilliant to see a Ravage cassette figure with a head that looks like an actual feline.
Yeah, the head is well proportioned to the body, and it almost looks like the thing's got ball joints.
They would have to have it.
At least in the shoulders.
It's the sort of thing where
joints.
Yeah, exactly that. But the other thing I like, I mean, with Japan's Frenzy being purple, I mean, they're colour accurate to the cartoon, which is insane. Yep. Buzzsaw looks brilliant. I mean, to me, Buzzsaw has always just come across as a slightly colour washed version of Laserbeak anyway. So, but the mould is insane. But the other major thing that I do like about this is, in the case of Rumble and Ravage, they are going to be presented or sold in a 2-pack, much like they were in Japan way back in the day.
It's good that they do that kind of thing.
The level of homage layers there is just really cool, in my opinion. Sadly, I can't remember who was supposed to come with. I think Japan's Frenzy was the one that came with Ratbat, because originally Soundwave had Buzzsaw come with him rather than Laserbeak. I'll have to double check my history on that. But anyway, I quite approve of these figures coming out. Masterpieces, two per package, and achieving their own number at MP15 and MP16. 15? It's 15, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
one set's 15 and one set's 16. I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
I will own these. The end.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of those masterpieces that I might pick up a second one if it's for a good price, just because it's so cool.
Only thing to be cautious about is that these are masterpiece toys, so probably going to be so rough on them.
Yeah, that's right. Now, we'll leave that there. We've talked about that plenty. Our next thing is, following on the curtails of Hasbro, Takara, or whoever it was, re-releasing the Bruticus Maximus mold.
Hasbro hates
set again. Yep. So is it a GDO exclusive?
GDO is just some North American bloody thing. Ignore that. It's an Asian exclusive.
I know, but it's an Asian exclusive.
Yeah.
Following on that, inevitably, Fans Project have re-released, or are re-releasing, their Explorer and Munitioner in new colour schemes. Now, for people who don't have this set, very good opportunity. Even though the Hasbro Asia exclusive is at a premium, it's still going to be cheaper to get that and these new repaints of the Fans Project figures than going and buying the original set, like I did just freaking recently. But it gives me an opportunity if I wanted to buy a second lot, even just for the robots, like the Fans Project set, that is. It's now available for a reasonable price. Now, Nam, what do you reckon about these?
Well, to be honest, I was never interested in them in the first place because
You're crazy.
I was never a third-party person, but as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I did acquire 2 third-party toys for the very first time, with the Weapon Specialist and the Medical Specialist.
From the
and I was very impressed with the quality of those figures.
I wouldn't call them the worst.
And because of that, it's changed my opinion on third-party toys now. You know,
thank fuck.
Yes. So
how long have we been beating into your head that there's nothing wrong with them?
Well, I didn't think there was anything wrong with them. It was only the price tag that kept me away.
But you again, and not necessarily you, but for all the people that complain about pricing of third party, you just go and do some research on how much it costs to make a mold.
Yeah,
well,
just a mold.
Better yet,
nothing else.
If you can, get yourselves a copy, when it comes out, of the PDF of Philip J. Reed's Transforming Collections third-party toy reference book.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go back through our podcast thread or on the Podbean site and check out the interview.
Or even hit up, battlegrip.com.
Battlegrip.com or on Twitter.
Up there.
Yep, or on Twitter. You can follow Phil at Philip J. Reed. And that's 1 L in Philip. But that will explain a lot. But I was doing an interview with Phil, and we were talking about the price of his book. And it's very cheap, because technically his book is a third-party book in the sense of the production run and cost and all that. And he's selling it super, super cheap, because it's made to order. Now, you got to remember, these figures aren't made in 1 million pieces at a time. Exactly. And a mold costs tens of thousands of dollars to make. Minimum. And you're talking 2 molds here, all individual pieces. These robots don't share pieces, right? Or they might, but very minor. Nothing obvious.
Apart from what a ball joint is, by definition, that's about it.
So, you know, let's say $100,000 in injection molds or pressure molds here, plus add on to that research and development time, paying all the staff to make it,
marketing,
costs of materials, costs of paint, all the marketing, packaging materials, all of this, and they might have only made 50,000 pieces of it. So when you think that these scout-size figures, or very small deluxe figures, are $50 to $100 each, just remember that. And especially with companies like Fans Project and TFC Toys, the quality of figures you're getting is on par, if not better sometimes, than some of your Hasbro stuff.
They are better, because with the Medical Specialist and the Weapon Specialist, I've got about 20 weapons with each one, so...
Yeah, but I mean more so the actual materials.
Yeah.
So that's my little rant. But just if you're complaining about price of third party,
I was going to
remember that
at one point we'll get back to Nam.
Yeah, we will.
At one point.
But it's a serious thing because people do sook about this a lot, and it's just like if you're on Facebook, right? This is just an example. You always see people complaining about other people sooking about stuff or whatever, you know.
That's why I don't have Facebook.
Here's the answer. Don't fucking read it. Or don't be friends with them. The same thing, if you don't like the price of third-party stuff, instead of being negative all the time and having a sook, just ignore it.
Yeah,
Cybercon.com
did.
Well,
Either constructive criticism...
Oh, because I wasn't I wasn't a fan of the prices, I didn't complain about them, I just didn't pay attention to them.
Just ignored it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have any interest in Munitioner and Explorer. Because of my
so don't jump on the thread and have a cry at people. Just leave it alone unless you've got something nice to say.
But because of my recent experience, I do have an interest in Munitioner because it's Swindle.
Oh, and he's badass.
And I love Swindle, but Explorer, that.
And he has a TARDIS in his pants.
Yeah.
Scarily enough.
So you gonna pick up these figures now?
If I had the spare dime, yes, I would.
Dude, do it. Seriously.
Have we got a price for them yet?
No. That being said, though, I suspect that they'll probably be around the same mark, $50, $60 each.
$50 each for these is
at that price,
really acceptable price.
At that price, I wouldn't mind getting Munitioner then. I'm happy with that then.
Have you got the Bruticus Maximus mold now?
No.
Well, if you have the money, it's worth getting both of these guys and that mold just for Bruticus.
Yep.
Because that thing is badass.
Well,
even though this new stuff's coming out, I still don't regret paying the money I did for mine.
Well, I want to clarify something because I never had the Bruticus mold. I don't understand how. This is going to make me sound incredibly noobish, but I don't understand how these two work into it. I assume they become the limbs, right?
Yeah, one becomes a leg, one becomes an arm.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Bruticus Maximus. It's a piece of shit, right? Yeah. It really was an average figure. Fans Project came around.
Below average.
Below average. It was bottom shelf rubbish, right?
About the only thing it managed to achieve was the fact that it adhered
what it managed to achieve?
Scramble City design sheet.
Yeah, but you know what it managed to achieve? Warming shelves.
Yeah, that too.
But Fans Project came around. See, I can't talk. Came around and made these two figures that attached to it and all these wicked accessories and weapons and shit, and turned a bottom tier piece of crap into something freaking unreal. So if you've got the 100 or so to get the Bruticus Maximus and another 100 to grab these guys, highly recommended.
Yep. And so what? These two, you said they form a leg and an arm.
Yeah.
And
come with.
What about the other leg and the arm on Bruticus?
Well, the Bruticus Maximus set has 2 tanks and 2 helicopters, and then your main central figure.
Yeah.
You leave one of the helicopters and one of the tanks in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And the accessories it comes with connect onto the existing figures so that you can have the hand and the foot on there.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the Fans Project figures are fairly integrated anyway, because it's their accessories.
Okay.
And all of the accessories that come with them can be used in individual bot modes for all 5 members of the team.
So,
Nam,
in the end, it does sound like it's worth it.
Oh, worth it? That's an understatement, in my opinion, anyway.
Out of curiosity, Nam, have you seen any video reviews on these two molds at all?
No.
All right.
Go check
after I was going to say after when we hit the intermission, I'll send you a couple of links. You need to watch these 2 reviews, or 3 actually. I think after those, after you see these 3 reviews, you'll know whether or not you want to spend the money on these 2. My personal recommendation, as standalone figures, forget the fact that they combine with anything. As standalone figures, they're insane. They're insanely posable. They look brilliant. They have very intricate transformations, but at no point do you really feel like you're going to break anything. No. Explorer, there's a couple of fiddly bits with his, as you can see on the pictures that we're looking at, the two triangle pieces either side of his chest.
A little fiddly, but not too bad.
Yeah, they make him feel a little bit fiddly. The other part, pardon me, would be Munitioner's arms in the way that they fold out away on the rest of the mass to form the actual arms. There's a step there that it sort of feels odd the first time you do it, but once you've done it, it's like, it's nothing at all. But
how much did, sorry Dave, how much did you pay for the weapons specialist and medical, Nam?
115 each, from memory.
Yeah, well, okay. They're maybe, 40% bigger figures. I wouldn't say they're double the size, but they're larger, and they're over double the price. If they're $50, that is, And you're getting a lot of accessories with these guys, and the opportunity to make a really cool combiner.
Should you want to go down that road?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll look into it during the intermission then.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
I would suggest to go and watch my reviews, but I've been too lazy to review those guys.
Fair enough.
Only because they are fiddly and they're really cool figures, and I want to take a lot of time to do it, and I just haven't had it. So, anyway, we'll move on from them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything else to add, Dave? Or
the only thing I could add was when I initially saw this news article come up. When I clicked on the picture and saw the colours, I mean, these recolors look absolutely yum. I was sort of like, you bastards. But, yeah, I mean, if you didn't have a chance to get either the original iterations of these figures or the slight retooling and repaints in Warcry and Flame Blast, which didn't come with any of the combining bits and pieces. They were just two standalone versions of the mould, because these moulds do stand on their own very easily. If you've missed those two prior opportunities, and you really wanted them, don't dig around. Once these things go up for sale, there's a good chance, I think, that these might end up being Fans Project Core exclusives, or even TF Source exclusives. I don't know. I just have this feeling. Yeah, they will. They will sell like that. Don't bugger eyes around. Get in on them and enjoy.
And as you said, Nam, the Munitioner is a really cool, not swindle. And it would fit in a classics collection very easily, I think, for a swindle.
Well, that's the thing. There's no universe version of Swindle.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so might as well get this one then.
Okie dokie. TFC Toys Project Uranus X45
Uranus.
Phantom. Shut up. I'm trying to avoid that joke. It's been done to death. You're an anus, you idiot. People, you see what I got to deal with to run this crap. TFC Toys.
Especially you, Uranus.
Guarantee they'll do a limited Hong Kong exclusive that's pea yellow.
Shit. Shut up, I'm trying to intro this subject, you freaks. TFC Toys Project X45 Phantom Ray and new images of the SR71 Blackbird. Now, these are the main body figure, or Silverbolt if you're following a G1 side of things, and the chest piece. Now, what they've done with this figure, instead of having just a big block of plastic that becomes his chest shield, they've actually made a figure that will transform into it, which is great if you want playability with that piece, instead of just having a shield for one of your figures. And if you're not interested, you can just leave it in its shield mode. So
it's very reminiscent of the pterodactyl in Power Rangers.
Go,
Wait, what is?
What?
The little chest piece plane. How it becomes the chest piece.
Right, yeah, I follow you now, yep.
Yeah.
For a minute then I'm like, there's no Kimberly.
It's not
see it.
pink.
Where's the Pink Ranger? Hey? Now, looking at the photos, which you'll all be able to see below, as usual, or unless you're listening on your iPod, we've got a first set of images show the chest piece in its chest mode or plane mode, and its robot mode, which it looks okay, but again, it's just, I think, TFC saying, hey, we might as well make a robot out of this instead of just having a big chunk of plastic.
It does say work in progress.
Yeah, that's right. Now, the Blackbird looks freaking sweet. Very cool. Robot mode looks unreal. Loving the look of that with the engines on the back. And its nose cone fuselage area of the plane actually becomes his gun. It removes completely, so you don't have a big piece of kibble hanging off his back. Thank you, TFC. And it turns into, it looks like two different guns, or it could be a mid-transformation step, but either way, it turns into a really cool-looking rifle, and that is super exciting. I'm definitely getting these figures. Everything I've seen so far is looking very sexy. Now, I'm going to bypass Nam because he's a twit and wants to talk about anuses, and throw over to Dave.
Sorry for my immature sense of humour, guys. Sorry.
Dave?
Well, basically, I'll try and be quick. For me, I certainly am no pilot, and I'm certainly no aeronautical engineer. But I no. Otherwise, I'd be earning quite a bit more money than I am currently. That being said, I have grown up around aircraft most of my life, not so much in a military fashion, but in a domestic fashion. My grandfather and father, my late grandfather was a pilot. My father is a pilot. And basically all throughout my childhood, almost every weekend I spent in a light aircraft. So that being said, I very much like aircraft, and the SS-1 Blackbird is one that is just stunning to look at. I believe it's retired now. It's no longer part of the serving military, but it was a former Cold War high altitude surveillance and spy aircraft. And look, TFC, they know how to do a mold and they know how to do it well. And although this, I have seen complaints that it seems these molds are adhering far more to more of a G1 realistic aesthetic as opposed to Hercules, much more Unicron trilogy-esque proportions. I think the movement away from that sort of aesthetic has just done this all the credit in the world.
And it's not gone as realism as Bayformers. It's kind of got the best of both worlds, I think. Keeping the nice, solid aesthetic with the realistic look. And,
I mean, fair enough, the seeing that they've got the Blackbird parked next to, I'm not quite sure. It's not a Harrier jet. I think Fireflight was based on a MiG. I'm probably wrong. But at any rate, if anyone wants to be a scale Nazi, those two planes are in no way to scale.
No. If you've seen Revenge of the Fallen, Jetfire is virtually what you're looking at, and that's a big fucking plane.
Yeah, the Blackbird is a very large aircraft, but in its size, it is a stunning thing to look at. That said, I like what they've done with the forward end of the fuselage and the cockpit in turning it into the gun. I think that is a brilliant idea because a lot of people just, they always complain about the Universe 2.0 Silver Bolt just being, I fold the fuselage over the back, there you go, you're done. Well, here you go. TFC have taken note of that and they've actually made that section do something. And it's a brilliant way of integrating the weapon with the actual figure. I like how... Now, I don't know if this is suggesting that they haven't quite settled on a finalised bot mode for not Silverbolt here, but from the looks of things, you've got 3 different ways you can have Silverbolt in bot mode. In that one...
It's got engines pointing upwards.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking you've probably got options on how you want to pose him, opposed to it being 3 different molds, because your robot in general is the same in every mold, where the back is different in the 3 pictures.
Well, exactly that, and that's why I don't think they're going for 3 different figures as such, but more so just that, like you say, much like with Hercules individual figures, you could, as you know very well, Chris, you could pull bits apart, you could plug them all over the place in different ways and whatnot, and that's certainly...
Yeah, I think they're going for that playability side.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be something that it's inherited from Hercules in that sense. Did Hercules as a team, did it have a name? So how they're... So, they're essentially the not Constructicons, but did they have a...
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, well, let's say they're not Constructicons. Silverbolt's bot mode, it's sort of hard to actually choose which one I'd prefer out of the 3 different versions we're presented with here. I sort of do like how... I sort of do like how the wings are perched up on his back, aka like a Seeker would. I think that
reminds me a bit of Armada Jetfire.
It does, doesn't it? In the way that they're positioned, it gives me that sort of a sense too.
It looks like you could probably rotate the entire engine section and then fold the wings in between the top and the middle picture,
and then take off the turbines, whatever they're called.
You
want
the turbines are still there.
Yep.
Well, no, for the third one. For the third one.
Oh, the third one, yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, who knows? Those turbines could become weapons.
Awesome looking
being
weapons.
TFC. I love, and I'll get back to you as well, Dave. I was just looking at the actual torso mode of that. Yep. I love how the legs look as if they fold in on themselves to become a nice chunky thigh.
Which is quite crazy when you think about it, because looking at Silverbolt's bot mode, those legs look brilliant.
Are quite solid.
They look brilliant. And the way they must, as you say, seemingly collapse in upon themselves, but in such a way where it doesn't look dicky.
That torso mode looks super solid.
No, it does. I can see people, and this is a work in progress, as it states. I can see people probably having a bit of a gripe with the chest piece having that triangular gap just
but again,
in his
they'll probably
abdomen
fill that
region. Chances are they probably will, or that this isn't necessarily a finalised thing. So, but this also
I can't imagine that being left there. But again, when it's painted up, it could look completely different.
Well, exactly that. A good paint job in certain ways can hide certain flaws like that. So, but yeah, I mean, the other thing I'd also one sec. The other thing that I'd like to point out just quickly before I let Nam have a mention. The head sculpts. The head sculpts look really, really good. Ever so slight difference from G1 Silverbolt's head sculpt, but I mean, you only really notice the differences when you sit there and stare at it. If you just glance past it, that's Silverbolt. There's no questions about it. And the fact that it's certain. See now, does that as you can see in the Silverbolt torso shot there, it looks like the combined mode Superion head is residing there in the chest. Now, do you think that is a case of the head just stores in there, or do you think that's actually part of the mold and somehow it
I think it transforms out of the body in a very similar way that Dr. Crank did with the Hercules figures. The head is actually part of the figure.
Okay.
I would suggest that the head folds up and out, like from where it is. It looks like a big hinge there. It will fold out, and the other head will go back into that hole or something, like on a rotation or something like that. But it definitely looks like it's part of the figure opposed to being parts forming.
Now, I was just curious on that because it looks like it might even actually plug in on the very top of Silverbolt's head. But in saying that, Superion's own head sculpt looks quite good, taking note of the fact that he's got his classic visor there.
The Superion head looks freaking awesome.
If you notice the Superion head the Superion head when it's inside Silverbolt's chest.
Yep.
You've got that little. It's kind of it's a peg, that little peg that's visible underneath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd assume to get that Silverbolt head Superion head to fit into Silverbolt, you'd have to fold the peg off that panel, that plate. That's why it looks like that. And then when you transform it into Superion, you fold out the head, and then you put that peg back onto that plate. If you get what I'm saying.
And if you, definitely. And if you look at that very closely above that peg, there is a little dark spot
where it goes in,
which is the hole for the peg.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the way that panel that you're talking about is on an angle, the combined mode head is actually on a ball joint to allow it to fold in there.
Yeah. Because if they didn't have that whole panel idea with the pegs, it would have to be parts form because the head would be poking out. So Superion head would be poking out diagonally. But because they've set it up this way, you can actually fit the Superion head within Silverbolt.
Yeah, definitely.
But to basically finish up my round, dude. So I probably won't be getting this set. That's not because of price off-putting me or that the figures are crap. They're completely the opposite. For me personally, I'm happy with my Fans Project upgraded Superion set. I mean, depends. Push comes to shove, I might actually pick up that Silverbolt just because I love that aircraft. But the only other thing I can add is I wonder if TFC has taken a note out of Mastermind Creations' book with the Cyclops Shockwave steamboat figure with the little mini sub. I wonder if TFC has seen that and they've gone, that wouldn't be all too bad. Wonder if we can incorporate something similar into our next batch of figures. And what we've got is, well, why don't we make the chest plate do something? Because that little figure, he looks like he's probably going to be the size of, or I'd say maybe a Legion or a Commander.
Small, a scoutish sort of size.
Maybe just that smidgen smaller, but at any rate, he looks to be quite an articulate and cool-looking little bot.
Yeah, and by the look of his engineering, he's definitely got that, like you said, a Commander or a Legions. Well, not a Legions, a Commander or a Scout type engineering.
So,
and I like I keep saying, I think with TFC, it's a playability factor, and by doing that, it's more playable.
No, exactly that.
I've got mixed feelings about this thing. It does look awesome, no doubt, but I've got no emotional attachment to Superion. I've always been a fan of Defensor. Having said that,
TFC, getting there. Don't you worry.
Having said that, the Blackbird plane, I've already got a Blackbird plane in my collection. Revenge of the Fallen Leader Jetfire.
Yeah, got that too.
Looks great if you look at it from the top.
With a Superion robot mode, I've already got Ultra Class Superion. But with this thing, the legs, look at those legs, man. Such awesome pose with the legs.
That legs on Silverbolt are freaking nuts looking.
Yeah.
Those are some nice stems you've got there.
I feel like Quentin Tarantino, Look at his feet, man. To get a robot to pose like that with the feet look awesome in this figure.
I think this guy's going to be super articulated.
Yeah.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Oh, you go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, Chris, I know what we can play as the intermission song now.
You tell me in the intermission.
ZZ Top.
She got legs.
So
keep going there.
So I've got in my collection I've got a Blackbird figure. I've got a Silverbolt robot, and the third thing I've noticed is that the chest piece, the plane mode, it reminds me a lot of the
Sky Stalker.
No, I was thinking G2 Stealth Bomber Megatron. That plane.
Oh, I don't have that. Well, what was going to be Megatron? Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
A very triangular-looking bomber.
In Beast Wars Neo, or second, one of the two, I can never remember. He's known as BB.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and look, Nam, I think the other thing for you is, because you've only just knocked the top off that third-party side of things,
you're on a slippery slope.
Yeah, wait until you've got a few more figures and you've had to play around with some of this stuff, and then your opinion might change as it goes on.
Yeah. So, from where I stand now is that I've already got, these type of figures in my collection. However, this model does look awesome. It's having just acquired the Megazord from Mighty Morphin, the chest plate thing, very similar to Pterodactyl, as I said before. And kind of the Silverbolt reminds me of the Tyrannosaurus, how the robot head, is actually hiding within the Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, wow, actually, yeah, you're dead right. You're dead right there.
Yeah.
It fully does. It has the way it looks like the head tucks away. It fully does look very... No, well spotted there, now. Well spotted.
But yeah, I would get this figure if I had the spare money, because I already got my money down for all these other figures. It's only...
tell us about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only a matter of, timing, really, for me. So I would get this figure if I had that money sitting around.
Yeah.
Because I don't have an actual Superion in my collection yet. And the only Superion I've ever had was the KO one. So, and that fell apart within like a week.
Oh, wow. No, you need to do something about that, dude.
Yeah, we're not opening that can of worms.
But, yeah, as I said before, no real emotional attachment to it. If I did have, if it was Defensor, I'd jump on it right away. But because it's Superion, I'm not really that attached to.
I think I could cleanly say that all three of us will probably be pretty tempted by the Silverbolt figure, if anything. Myself, I'm definitely going for the whole set. Somehow, I'll rob a bank or something. But definitely going for the whole set.
I just imagine robbing a bank and, the bank worker's like, oh my, why are you robbing us? Do you need to feed the family? No, I want Superior.
I've got to get myself some Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus.
Did you just say you need to get yourself into some Uranus?
I did not say myself into.
Oh, God.
Yes, the joke was there, but you didn't have to take it that far.
So, yeah, the gun looks awesome. That looks pretty awesome. But, yeah, it's one of those things I'm in no rush to get, or if I saw it on clearance, I'll pick it up. But, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, as I said, I'll pick this up. Looks awesome. It's got the dino hiding head. Look, the figure itself looks nuts, and I can't wait to see a combined mode of this thing. We'll move on from there. Now, we have a non-Transformers, non-third-party robots subject now, and it's come out of PowerCon 2012. We've got live updates from the Mattel/Matty Collector panel, and it's the 2012 Club Eternia subscribers subscription figures, and we've got Snake Face prototype, who looks very menacing. How do I pronounce that? Karate?
Karate.
Yeah. Oh, it's a karate. And
good.
Octavia. And they all look pretty cool. I personally, to be honest, am not a Masters collector, and it's not that I don't like the figures, it's just a can of worms for me. If I start buying them, I'll want to keep buying them, and I already have enough trouble keeping up with my Transformers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Snakeface looks really cool. I love the use of moulding on him and the fangs that you can see there. The accessories are a bit meh, but the figure itself looks cool. Dave?
For me, Snakeface is an image that will be forever etched in my memory.
Just like Nam saying Uranus.
No, thank God that thing's behind me. The Snakeface, his original figure, 80s figure, to me as a kid was just like the coolest thing on the planet. It was essentially a male Medusa in character, except it didn't have a snake's lower torso. His gimmick was just awesome. He just looked like this evil demon because his eyes weren't there. They were just vacant holes. He had that slightly demonic-ish snake face with the fangs there and whatnot, and then you slide up this button on his back, and then bam, these red snakes just pop out of his eyes, out of his mouth. 2 sections on his chest drop down, and a pair of red snakes come out of there. It's like this.
What the fuck is that squeak?
It's a dog, isn't it?
No, it's my chair.
I thought someone was standing on a cat or a dog.
It's the best
Anyway,
way,
keep going.
It's the best way to deal with a cat. Step on it. But yeah, Snakeface.
We're going to get heat on this episode.
You just got Peter on top cases, man.
I've already got African Americans.
Peter, look, the thing with Peter is they destroy more animals than they save, so they've got nothing to talk about.
Let me just throw out a disclaimer, guys. To any listeners, no offence to anyone. We're just joking around.
And
Except
if you do
if
take
you like
offense,
domestic cats. Yeah.
I just keep talking about your bloody...
Anyway, Snakeface. I always loved that figure as a kid. And I had one for, I think it was about 2 months before it went AWOL. I have no idea where it went. But yeah, just the combination of the colours with the immediate contrast of the red snakes. As I say, the Medusa is type aesthetic to him. Just a cool character, cool looking figure, and I'm really glad to see that he's going to get a modern reimagining in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. And it looks absolutely amazing. It's going to have his shield. Apparently there's talk that his snake staff might actually get cut, which is a whole kettle of fish on its own, because apparently with the last subscription it was to guarantee that all accessories would be there, but they've had cost cut back.
I was just about to say, let's hope Matty Collector don't fuck this up.
Well, apparently Toy Guru is on record as saying that we've had to raise the prices, and that's purely so we make sure that none of the accessories get cut, but, this figure comes out and looks like the Snake Star's going to get cut anyway, so
I've said it
go
once,
figure.
I'll say it a million times. Toy Guru is a fucking twit.
Anybody who has the nerve,
to call themselves Toy Guru.
Exactly, like, that is something... Going to avoid that.
I'm sorry, dude. You are a wanker. I'll go on record.
No. Let's not, pussyfoot it. The guy's not a fuckwit. He's a
bona
fide fuckwit who is butt fucking a toy line into death, and is blaming everybody else but himself.
Now we've offended the gays.
No, I've got no issue there. No, this guy's an utter fuckwit.
The guy's all over the shop, and let's move on from him, because he's a twit.
Exactly. But unfortunately, that lies my problem with this figure, is that I want it, and I want it probably...
How it is.
It's probably just a couple of steps back as much as I want Masterpiece Soundwave, This figure just is that awesome to me. Sadly... one would have to subscribe to the Matty Collector fan wank service, whatever the hell it is, that doesn't work, and go through all the strife and acquiring that way. So I'm hoping...
I could get it for you locally.
Man, if you can get a hold of this figure for me...
There is a local comic shop that looks to have a couple of subscriptions, so they're always getting MOTU figures in.
Mm-hmm.
They've got quite a good range, actually, so that it's possible that they will get this. So closer to the time, remind me and we'll check it out, and I'll even be able to get one.
Yeah, I'll have to
sort of put aside,
because look, I'm willing to drop $50 on this guy. Normally they're between 30-40, but I'll be happy to drop 50 on him, because.
So we'll see what we can do on that.
But yeah, look, the sculpt of this guy, being that this is the prototype, it's looking amazing. It's going to have two separate heads, one with snakes protruding from the orifices of his face, as well as two plug-on chest bits which is supposed to represent the snakes that came out of his chest. His little shield that he's got there, I believe he's also supposed to come with a crossbow, I believe. But at any rate, awesome figure. I reckon those who are actual die-hard Masters of the Universe collectors are probably swooning over this, probably as much as I am. And look, for me, He-Man isn't that much of a deal. Skeletor is, as a character himself, is much more of a thing to me, just because, I have a natural liking for things that have a slightly darker nature, and a character that has a skull for a head, well, that ticks enough.
I'll get you, He-Man!
Yeah, I never quite got the voice.
Yeah, I know.
I guess
he's got a skull for a head, and he sounds like someone booted him in the balls.
Well, I guess they take that look at the skull and assume that, well, he doesn't really have lips. It's not really a meaty looking thing, so maybe it's a little high pitched. But
Now that sounds pretty damn similar, man. Sounds pretty spot on.
But thanks. But yeah, no, Snake Face. Matty Collector, you've done well. Just stop being dicks.
Yeah, sort your shit out, guys. Fucking hell. Every freaking week on Twitter, and I only follow like 100 people, and probably only 30%. Probably only about 30% of them have anything to do with Masters, and I reckon 99% of that 30% are always having problems. It's just, you need to sort shit out.
It's sad. It's sad because it's a brilliant toy line and a brilliant franchise, and it's being run into the ground.
The idea behind the subscription service is cool, but it's just ill-managed.
In theory, it works brilliant. In execution, it's an absolute train wreck. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of my rant on Matty Collector. But yeah,
Young Skywarp, do you have any thoughts?
Well, that's the key word, young. I was too young to remember Masters of the Universe. I've never actually seen an episode, nor that live-action movie with Dolph Lundgren. But I know 3 things. One, that song that's on YouTube, the one where He-Man sings God's Son. That one.
Just found our second intermission song.
Yeah, what's it called? Skeletor and that funny voice he has. And the third thing, I think it's Mechanic, is that right? The Mechanic toy?
Oh, yeah.
I reckon that toy looks really awesome, the fact that the neck stretches out. That aside, with these 3 figures having no connection or knowledge of Masters of the Universe, Snakeface, well, he looks alright. He looks pretty cool. Don't really know him. Now, Karate, he looks like if 3 characters, alright? Eddie from Iron Maiden, Cyrax from Mortal Kombat, and Baraka, not Baraka, Blanca from Street Fighter. They all had an orgy and created this guy.
You're right.
If all 3 of them got
orange hair.
Yeah.
Green with the orange hair, the armor from Cyrax and that.
And that kind of that freaky look from Eddie. Yeah.
From Eddie, yeah.
All awesome. 3 of them got in bed, they would make Karate. And Octavia, now that's a funny name because one of my best friends, his youngest sister is named Octavia. And I was thinking to myself, where in the world would a mother get that name from? Now,
Octavia makes me think of Spider-Man.
Now I'm hoping that the mum didn't get the name from this. Because the daughter is nothing like this evil-looking character. So, but yeah, that's all I got to say because of that.
And for me,
connection. So,
for me, I had a few Masters figures when I was little. Never, I used to watch the show, but it's not like a huge effect on me like Transformers had.
Yeah. No, the original show it really hasn't stood the test of time, in my opinion. But if you ever wanted to have a remote interest in looking at the universe that is Masters of the Universe, I'd recommend the 2002 series. I can't stomach the original, but through Cup, who recommended that I check out the 2002 series, leaps and bounds better. You'll recognise most of the voice cast because they're pretty much all Beast Wars veterans. And the stories and execution of the cartoon was so much better. It sadly, much like a lot of good cartoons, it got cut at its 3rd season.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the 2000 or what's often referred to as 200X.
I'll type it in now on my to-do list.
See, Nam, I'm old enough for the original.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my Masters of the Universe is Dolph Lundgren.
That movie.
So, that being said, I'm moving on. Our next point of news and last point of news is freaking awesome. I want this so bad. Perfect Effect PEDX02.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I think that's the Black Arachnia one.
Yep.
No. Yes, DX02. Oh, yeah. Me and Dave. Yeah, oh, man. We're Beast Wars guys.
Yep.
Plain and simple. I know we talk about liking big robots and that, but end of the day, our age group, we grew up with Beast Wars primarily, right?
I'm not against a small robot with a feminine chassis.
No. But
I don't think
we're
anyone
Beast
is,
Wars.
mate.
We like third-party stuff, and this thing ticks every single box it needs to. it's a cool looking motorbike. It's a badass looking motorbike. It's a badass looking robot. That these guys have taken something that I was on the fence with, not because of cost or design, aesthetics, or anything like that. I just, I like them, but I'm not really that interested in picking them up. Now they've gone and made this slight remold, because that's really all it is. They've added a few bits, twisted a few little bits around, it's not a completely new figure anyway. And I'm like, pre-ordered. This thing is nuts. It doesn't have a spider mode that we know of, but who gives a crap?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. For me, this ticks a large number of boxes. Now, everything I've heard about the base mold itself is that, apart from the fact that it can draw blood, it is an absolutely amazingly executed figure. Perfect Effect really have shown themselves to be brilliant at designing smaller scale robots with exceeding levels of articulation and posability. The detail in the molds is just superb.
They're top tier. They really are.
Very much so. And with DX02, wow. Whoever at Perfect Effect was sitting there that day and suddenly thought, oh, wait a minute. Thank you for doing so, because, look, this harkens back to a number of things. It's Black Iraq now. There's no two ways about it. It's Black Iraq now.
Box 1 ticked.
It references Transformers Animated Black Iraq now.
Box 2 ticked.
It references Transmetal Tarantulas' motorcycle third mode.
Box 3 ticked.
It does. It just looks absolutely incredible. From what I hear, they haven't quite settled on an end paint scheme yet. Rumours abound that whilst they want to apparently go with a Transformers Animated Black Arachnia type colour scheme,
Beast Wars, come on.
Rumblings have been heard that they might actually go with more of a traditional Beast Wars.
The black and the gold and that. Hells yeah.
Black Arachnia.
Here's the one word that needs to be used to describe this. Badassery.
Well, yeah, I mean, just the lines on this thing.
If someone was coming at you on this bike, you're going to shit your pants.
Well, if Spawn ever had a girlfriend and he wanted to give her a motorcycle, right here.
Screw his girlfriend, I want it.
I mean, well, I think you might have to answer to Spawn with that, but no, I think what they've done to retool it, let's ignore the forward mandibles and the legs. As a retool, it looks different enough from the initial version of the mold, just in that area. But then when you throw on these legs and the mandibles, it just takes on a whole different appearance and level of awesome. As a motorcycle, it just, as you say, Chris, looks badass. As a bot, I'm really interested to see if one can position those legs in a way that is much more akin to Black Arachnia from Beast Wars, in that they're facing upward and more like outstretched open hands, as opposed to Animator's Black Arachnia. She seemed to magically lose legs and just have a couple poking up, which stung people. But yeah, the head sculpt, from what I can see, because unfortunately these pictures are not as high res as I would have liked, looks quite looks third party Black Arachnia, if that makes sense.
You can tell it's Black Arachnia's base, and being that it's a Motobot, quotation marks, it looks like Black Arachnia is wearing a motorcycle helmet.
Very much so, and it's such a... Go on now.
Now, with that, what do you call them? The legs, pincers or whatever. Is it pincers?
Yep.
Yeah,
The arachnid legs.
Arachnid legs. I reckon you can rotate them so that they form.
It does appear so.
Hand pose on her back.
It would be
I don't see how it would
like
be
the machine gun leg. You know, when she fires off the legs as a machine gun.
Yep.
If you can do that with it, I'm buying 2, and they can ride each other.
Ooh, kinky.
Shit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's in some ways it's look. Some people may think, oh yeah, this is a logical conclusion. Personally, I don't think so. I think this is a really creative idea, taking that. Oh look, fembots as motorcycles, it works. It seems to fit that more humanized feminine proportions on a robot, which really doesn't make any sense, but I know where you come from. It works on a subliminal level, and how many female robotic characters have really stood out in Transformers beyond RC and Black Arachnia?
That's right.
The only other one I can think of is Air Razor.
Slipstream? Is it Slipstream? Female?
Yeah, more recently, yeah, Slipstream and
but Black Arachnia is
what's the name? Is it Obsidian? From Beast Machines, and she was also in Transformers Animated, the Russian lass.
Yeah, something like that.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, her Striker. Striker? I don't know.
You're telling the story.
Anyway, they could have gone down the route that I think, what was it? Impossible Toys, iGear did with the Valkyrie mold. In that, let's just do the Paradron Medic. I'm so glad that we're not getting a green RC, because personally I think it's weak. Mm-hmm. That whole thing, the whole concept of the Paradron Medic is weak to me. Excellent looking figure. Cannot wait to see colour pictures. And as soon as they put a price tag on it, it's mine.
Please hit the Beast Wars colours. Please. Black and gold motorbikes look cool anyway, like black motorbikes with gold wheels and that. So if they can get a colour scheme to work both on bot and alt mode, it's just going to be unreal.
Perfect effect. Set the president. Homage. Beast Wars.
Yes.
Now, I had no idea this figure existed until you guys linked me to it about 5 minutes before the show. But I got 3 words. Holy fucking shitballs! I'm getting this. I think that was 4 words. My bad.
It's all right. You corrected yourself.
That's the South Australian education, people.
Alright. Oh damn! I just made South Australians look bad with my sense of humour as well. Trust me, the rest of South Australians are the complete opposite of what I am. I think they're a lot more stubborn than what I am. But
that's right.
Well, I am a Welsh.
Oh, you got it. You're a Welsh.
That's all I'm going to say.
That being said, this figure looks amazing. What I love about it is the vehicle mode and those spider legs or whatever, arachnic legs. They point forwards in front of the wheel, and the fact that you've got a pointy-looking front of the bike, that cockpit or whatever it's called, the front piece. Mm-hmm. When you look at, imagine looking at the bike from sideways. Because of those arachnic legs and that pointy part of the bike, it looks like you got like a bullet. Altogether, it kind of looks like a bullet, and it matches. Really, the aesthetic matches.
Still.
Yeah, it does. It has that design that gives you that impression of speed, doesn't it?
And that lethal, deadly speed. The whole
the exhaust from under the back of the seat look powerful.
Yeah, and the robot mode, it looks amazing. I love the fact that it's got that. It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you guys have played StarCraft, because I was kind of too young to.
Oh wow! Yeah, actually, that's twice, man. Twice. Yeah.
It looks like Megatron and Sarah Kerrigan had a baby together, and they formed this.
What's with you and orgies and babies and shit this episode?
I'm sorry.
Nam is just professing his hidden, undying love for Sari.
His hedonism.
But yeah, it kind of reminds me a lot of a robotic Sarah Kerrigan, and I like Sarah Kerrigan, and that also adds to why I would definitely get this figure. And it looks that badass in robot mode. And have you guys noticed in that picture, that front picture looking at her front, she's holding that knife in her hand?
Yeah, I actually, Nam, I just noticed that because the rear end of the motorcycle ends up being a shield on her left arm, and she's got a pretty menacing looking dagger on the right.
Yeah, although you don't really see the detailed picture, a photo of the knife. Oh, you can see it in the vehicle mode, I guess.
If you're looking at the same link I am, go to image 1 of the 8.
1 of the 8. Let's see.
Yeah.
I've got about the very first one. Yep. Oh, yeah, I see it. I can see it now.
Yeah.
But it does look very menacing, that knife.
No, they've done real well with this. And if you've seen reviews or pictures of the Motobots, they've got a lot of accessories anyway. Perfect Effect really hit a home run on this, I think. And, I'm going to buy this regardless, to be honest. If the paint's crap, I'll repaint the bastard. But,
that being said about the paint, Chris.
Yeah.
I know that this is meant to be kind of like a homage to Black Arachnia. Do you think that gold would really work on it? Because, I don't know, gold on figures...
As I said, it would have to be a very balanced paint scheme between both modes, because you could make one look really good with that Black Arachnia scheme and the other look really bad. Either way. So they're going to have to think very carefully about their acts.
And that's what makes me think that what's most likely to happen is we'll see this in more Transformers animated Black Arachnia colours come out as the main one. I'm thinking maybe they'll do a limited run of a more Beast Wars one, because I see what you're getting at, Nam, with the gold plastic, but also gold paint. It depending on how it's done, it can be fragile, and unless the paint itself is applied properly, the last thing you want to do is scratch it off.
And look, the animated scheme will work just as well.
I wouldn't be against
purple in there.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is to have the face and the chest and that really stand out.
Well, this head mold is looking substantially different to the original, so and that seems to be one point of contention on the original mold is the actual head. A lot of people seem to feel that the face and the head seems recessed in this helmet. So yeah.
My only worry about the use of gold paint is that it kind of takes away from how badass the figure could be, because I've never really associated that color gold with badassness.
I'm sure
gold's always been more of that, that whole
regal.
Prime, that regal kind of feel to a character. It doesn't have that real badass touch.
If they use gold, it will be highlights only, I would imagine.
Nam, I just heard there's somebody at your door, man. I think his name's Goldar. I think he wants to have a word with you.
I'll just laugh at him, man, as soon as he walks in the door. I'm like,
alright.
Blue job covered in gold. What is this?
I'll go get Rita Repulsor for you if you want.
And then God will be like, I'll get Rita to poke your eyes out with her cones. I'm like, oh, yeah.
God. On that note, we are going to have an intermission.
Alright.
When we come back, we are going to do a listener question. And this day in Transformers history, thanks to Transformers Wiki, and covering what we've got and pre-orders and so on, and then we'll finish up. So enjoy this intermission, and we'll be back.
Intermission time.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I feel it, a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I feel the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And he tries. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution. And he prays. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray to see your face. And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, don't, yeah, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah!
And welcome back, guys, to Shooting the Shit, the Toy Podcast. I hope you enjoyed that intermission. As usual, I try and make it a little bit sort of entertaining and related to what we've been talking about. Now, what we're going to run through quickly, or I'll run through, is just I thought we could cover off this day in history for Transformers. And 1958, editor Michael Kalel was born, and he currently works for DC Comics, but he has worked on some Transformers stuff like aerial bots over America. Not real interesting, but there you go. 1984, the Transformers episode Transport to Oblivion premieres in the US.
Oh, wow.
1986, the Transformers episode Thief in the Night premieres in the US.
I was a year old.
And I was a negative year. 2001, the Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus premieres in the US. And jump 9 years ahead, 2010, the Transformers Drift Issue 3 and Transformers The IDW Collection Volume 2 are released in the US by IDW Publishing. So there you go, that's October the 6th, this day in history from Transformers Wiki, which is tfwiki.net, so check that out, guys. It's a good site. And we're going to move on to it's a listener question. It was a thought from a local board member, Liegeprime, from the Ozformers boards, which is www.otca.com.au. So definitely check that out. /boards. Either way, it will get you to the site. And what he was wondering is our thoughts on Arms Micron versus Transformers Prime. Meaning more so the toys as the cartoon is Transformers Prime. So I've got a bit of thoughts on this, but I'm going to start off with Nam. So what are your thoughts, Arms Micron versus the Western release of the toys, Nam?
To be honest, I don't really care for Arms Micron. I'm going to be blunt. I was never a really big fan of Transformers Prime the series as a whole, and the Micron figures, you know, they are cool that they have a robot mode that can become some sort of a weapon, but it's nothing that really tickles my fancy. Like, I've only got one, which is the No, I've got two actually. I've got the one that comes with Terracon Cliff Jumper, which is the ravaged-looking thing that turns into a shotgun or a saw from memory.
A double-sided chainsaw, I think it was.
Yep. Yeah. And the other one was the bulk. Oh, not bulk, but the triple cannon looking thing.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And I've played with both of them, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they can be used by the figures, but other than that, I don't see any real kind of sentiment or emotional connection to them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Hursticon.
Yo. Yeah, for me, it's pretty black and white, really. Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise as a toy line is aimed for the Western market, and for the Asiatic, probably more specifically Japanese market, you've got Arms Micron, where you've got slightly decreased paint apps in favour of stickers, and build yourself little Micron robots that turn into weapons. Look, it's two different products based on the same one, aimed at totally different markets. As Takara stated, with Arms Micron, they're just looking to experiment with things, because at the moment in Japan, apparently model construction kits are going gangbusters, and they wanted to see if they could possibly
let's face
dip a Transformers toe into it.
Gunpla over in Japan, which is Gundam model kits,
right,
have been very big for a long time. Yeah, Gunpla.
Because I've heard that term, thrown around all over the place, and I
Gunpla
had no idea
how they describe those model kits, I believe.
Okay,
this is the first time I've ever heard of that term, so I've...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gundam robot model kits have been very big for a long time in Japan.
Yeah, they certainly have, and as well as it has spread. At least Gundam has those model kits have spread over here.
Oh, you can get them over here, so...
Yeah, I mean, for me, Gundam doesn't really do anything. I know they're giant robots, but for me, the colour palette and the designs, it's just... To me, they all look the same, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's most of them are basically the same, like road-based robot, just with a little bit of different detail. That's basically what it is. Yeah,
and it's always red, white, and blue. It's just meh.
I will disagree a bit with that. I have done a little bit of looking around at that stuff, and there is quite a range of different bots out there. You do get a few that tend to look very similar, but there is a quite an extensive range on the Gundam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like construction kits and that sort of thing. I'm actually considering who is it? Can't remember who the model kit manufacturer is off the top of my head, but it's a D style or a deformed style. Go, go! Little figure. Sorry, I just had to do that, but I don't have enough gravitas in my voice. I've been watching that series lately and just really getting into it. It's all sorts of crazy, ridiculous giant mecha.
Are pretty cool.
But I've sort of been tempted by them, as well as a couple of other construction kits things, because whilst Lego's good, and I have enjoyed the odd couple of things I've gotten recently with regards to that. I don't know. Relating that to Arms Micron, they're dipping their toes in it, and I think for the moment it seems to me more of a thing that, because Tomy are the owners of the Zoids franchise, and in the merger, needless to say, you can see various things from Zoids creeping into the Transformers brand. I mean, you only need to look at 06 Classics Grimlock. You look at that, and that's the Zoid, just without the construction style around it. There was another figure that reminded me of it too, but I don't know, they might be able to achieve something sort of like that, what Creo is to Transformers at the moment. They might be able to do something similar with a construction-based model kit or Zoids-type Transformers. I think that would be an interesting progression of what ARMS Micron currently is. But for me, I don't dislike ARMS Micron any more than the Western Prid line. To me, the figures are just fairly lackluster as a whole. Yeah, some of them have a couple of neat things on it. The ones that I own currently, basically just because I wanted effigies of those particular characters. I mean, Megatron, I like. Transformers Prime Megatron, his design is just, it's easily one of the coolest Megatrons
He's
done to date.
Big, solid, badass looking.
And
bot mode.
exactly, and he's what he, you think of the name Megatron, that's sort of an image that you come up with.
Yeah,
a big,
definitely.
powerful bloke. Optimus, well, I had to get something to go against Megatron, didn't I? Optimus
Bumblebee, take on Megatron.
no,
Bumblebee get his head ripped off by Megatron.
No, I do not own Bumblebee, only because the fact that he's clogging up my shelves and I'm not going to help anybody else. RC, great figure, loved her. Same with Ratchet. But yeah, ARMS Micron, interesting concept. I think it's probably going to be something more popular with its target audience than what it is in the West. Some people in the West have certainly found an avenue for it and a liking for it. I don't think it'll have a mass appeal, though. It's certainly going to appeal more to people who like doing construction type things. If you want a straight-out toy, I don't think ARMS Micron is for you.
Well,
I mean, go on.
I kind of want to elaborate on my point.
Yeah, go on.
No, you're not allowed.
With the ARMS Micron, as I was saying, with I had the Terracon Cliff Jumper that came with the Ravage-looking creature, robot. The stickers that came with that, they were actually misaligned when they were printed. So I could not use any of those stickers, and that little Micron figure
point on that effect very soon.
Yeah, is now stickerless. It doesn't have any colours in it, and that's another reason why I don't like the ARMS Micron. Or I'm not a fan of it. Is that unlike the Transformers Prime where it's all paints, they got all the paint apps. At least the paint apps are there. With the Microns, if they screw up your stickers, then you don't have paint.
Yeah, you're stuffed. You're stuffed, and it almost seems to me, because that's not an uncommon thing now. I mean, you're certainly not the first person I've heard have an issue like that, which makes me think that, I don't know, compared to say like the G1 reissues that Takara have done recently, it's almost as if for ARMS Micron, the stickers are produced at a completely different factory to what the stickers are for, say, the G1 reissues and that sort of thing, because they don't really seem to have had anywhere near the issues as the ARMS Micron stickers have had. And from what I understand, some of them can be actually quite crap quality too.
Well, that really segues into my thoughts on this, and I've been selective with what I've bought Transformers Prime. I like to have the main cast, which I'm slowly sort of achieving. And I've got a mixture of Western release and ARMS Micron. Now, the ARMS Micron figures I have been very hit and miss with stickers. Now, when you're stickering any type of toy, especially with plastics and stickers, smooth surfaces, make sure your hands are clean and oil-free to start with. Make sure the toy is clean and oil-free. Now, I do this, and I'm a bit finicky with my toys. I make sure my hands are clean before I touch them, because oils in the skin can deteriorate the paint.
That, and you don't want chocolate all over your toys.
That's just me. So I'm avoiding that oil side of things to start with. Even so, some of these stickers will not stick. the stickers are very subpar and hit and miss. You know, again, my Viacon, stick it up fine. My Breakdown was a pain in the ass. So, now that's the real big negatives for me. Now, the other side of it is, pardon me, the early figures from ARMS Micron that were released had the Micron ports in terrible fashion. Particularly Knockout had very distinct add-on plastic for the ports. Also, Soundwave wasn't a good looking ARMS Micron because he's very slender and sticking those ports on him just stuck out like dog's balls. Now, the Viacons that they released, Breakdown, a few others, I name those two because I have them, but those came out quite well. They do have paint apps and a mixture of stickers, just not the same amount of paint apps that a Western release would have. But also, if you do look at the Western release of the figures, such as your RC, your Starscream, your Ratchet, they are limited in paint apps as well. So my suggestion for this is repro labels. Especially for figures like Ratchet, it really steps them up to another level. But yeah, really for me, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm not really specific on which one I get. The ARMS Micron are a little bit more expensive, but I quite like building the Microns, and I like little Minicon type figures. And I like the little weapons, and it adds a bit of playability. Not that I sit there and play with them all the time, but it's just fun to build these little things up.
Well, that's the thing about the ARMS Micron stickers is that, the whole idea of using replica labels. I thought the whole point of using replica labels was that if your toys, the stickers were so old or something, or that's the point. That's why you need replica labels.
Yeah, that was the point with the G1 figures.
Yeah. Or, if you want to add a little bit more of your detail to your new figures, that's why you use replica labels. I think people should be using replica labels to compensate for the problems with ARMS Micron.
Well, I'm not saying to compensate for it.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you want a screen, and that's why I mentioned figures like Ratchet from the Prid line.
Yeah.
If you want detail, you're going to have to go that extra step and get repro labels or paint it. What's that? Yeah, or paint it yourself, because it's not about being Western release or Japanese release. Some of the figures are just bland, and some of them are quite good. I'm a very strong believer in you shouldn't pick one or the other. If there's good examples from both lines, pick the better example. And like I said, I don't mind doing the Micron build, so sometimes I'll pick up figures like that. Breakdown. I wanted Breakdown bad because he came with a Rhino hammer. Rhino hammer. So, yeah, look, I don't think one's worse or better than the other. It's only that the Japanese releases are a little bit more expensive, so it changes your opinion slightly. Any other thoughts on that, guys?
It would be interesting to see. My only real thought that's going on in my head is it'd be interesting to see if repro labels were to do repro label kits for the ARMS Micron line. Specifically, I'd like to see what they could do with Breakdown. I reckon he could be of immense benefit because, well, Knockout, damn, he looks amazing with the repro label set, and I really need to pull my thumb out of my ass and get the massive order that I want of various repro label stickers because they do amazing work, and in quite a number of cases it betters the figure. And I think if people are suffering the issues that they are with Takara's stickers that they supply with ARMS Micron, I think that's another area that retro labels could certainly put its feelers out into.
Yep. And Nam, no other thoughts there?
Nah, I'm pretty much. Oh, that's the thing. I'm not really interested in the whole
Fair enough.
Pride series of arms in the first place. But
Yep.
I would say that if they made Micron turn into more realistic looking weapons, I'd be a lot more impressed.
Okay.
Like
Fair
if you had a Micron that looked like a double barrel shotgun and a double barrel shotgun looked realistic, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'd be with you there as well.
But the
Okay.
fact that they're changing some generic looking robot rifle, whatever it is,
It
I
almost does. Yeah, I agree, Nam. It's almost like the Microns from Arms Micron, unless they're specifically related to the figure they come with, they come across as basically just a build-it-yourself power core combiner Minicon figure.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Look, some of the earlier ones were better, like Ratchet came with a blade, like the scalpel, and Cliffjumper came with a 3-barrel gun to replicate his actual handgun.
Oh man, it would have been so awesome if Ratchet's Micron, if his name directly translated to the Doctor.
But
Like,
yeah,
imagine if they made a Arms Micron that turned into like the rifle that Optimus has, like the G1 Optimus rifle. How cool would that be? That'd be bloody awesome. I'd get that right away. But with these current ones, I'm not that impressed by them.
all right. What we're going to do is move on now to what we've got this week or this fortnight or whatever it may be at the time. Depends on our recording. The recording, yes, the shit we got. And pre-orders, I'm going to throw to Nam because I know he's got to get going soon.
Oh,
so,
Nam. Yes, what I've got recently was a fairly decent-sized order from ActionToys.com. This is my second dealing with them, so I know for sure that you can trust these guys. They won't run off with your money once you place an order. What I've got was the what was mentioned in the last podcast, Chris, which was the 12-inch Chewbacca, or otherwise known as Derp Bucker.
Oh, you got that, did you?
The George Lucas turd.
I should take a photo of myself just like with the 3 figures. And then you can put them on the links. The second one was the 12-inch Greedo.
Disco Greedo.
And the other one was 12-inch Admiral Akbar, which you have as well.
Akbro.
Yes, Akbro.
So much love for the Akbro.
He's the Akbro. And he's in perpetual flip-off mode with his sweater vest.
I don't know if they're still in stock, but at the price of $20 a pop, that's pretty damn cheap.
I'm so got to get a Disco Greedo.
On top of that,
Disco Greedo.
I think I mentioned in the previous podcast I was also getting the Batmobiles or Bat vehicles.
Yep.
I've got the Batwing from Batman Forever and the Batboat from Batman Forever. Now, even though I'm not a huge fan of those movies, I do like the H.R. Geiger inspiration, the influence in these vehicles that have. Yep. On top of that, I've got I think it's the Ice Glow Bat Hammer from Batman and Robin, which is that. It looks like a Batboat, but it's got skis on the bottom and it travels along the ice. Yeah. That one and the Batman and Robin Batmobile.
Okay, cool.
And a couple of more figures. A Batman figure from each of those movies. One of them is a transforming, in quote-unquote transforming, Bruce Wayne figure, where he turns into Batman, and you got this like separate piece where it's the Batman, and it's the Batman's torso, and you put it on top of the Bruce Wayne figure, and the Bruce Wayne head actually goes inside the torso, so that the Batman piece,
like a head flip gimmick.
Yeah, like that. Instead of the head flip, the head just presses down into the body, and you just put that Batman torso.
Okay, so it's spring-loaded head.
Right.
Now this one is from the Batman Forever line, and what I found out this morning is that you can't actually fit that one particular figure into any of the damn vehicles.
Of course,
because he's got these like shoulder pads that poke out so much to the side that he doesn't even fit into the damn Batjet or Batwing. So now my Batwing. doesn't have a pilot. Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nam. With a lot of those lines and specifically those vehicles, a lot of them tended to come with a pack-in Batman or whoever figure, didn't they?
No, they didn't. Actually, the figures are sold separately.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like DC.
There was a rare instance of you'd have like a store exclusive or an exclusive set or a repaint that you would get a figure. One example was the Batman Returns Batmobile. There was one that came in a camo paint, which looked ridiculous, a white and black camo paint, and it had a white Batman figure. That was, I think, one of the only instances where you actually got a figure with the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's surprising because most of these vehicles, they're made by Kenner, and you know Kenner's history, they end up getting bought out by Hasbro.
Man, you'll have to take some pictures of these things for me.
Oh, I will.
I'll put the pictures on the YouTube video when I put it up.
Yeah, sure. And the only thing I can say is that it's a shame how the current line of Batman toys, they're very, what do you call it, crap compared to what the
crap
were.
cast.
They remind me of how Batman was handled in the 90s, in that you got maybe 3 of the bad guys and the next 30 figures were
Batman,
and
Batman.
Yeah, but at least in the 90s
Busters
they were
Batman.
half decent figures of them.
Well,
Now they look like knockoffs.
I'm talking more about the vehicles. Like, these Bat vehicles are awesome compared to what we got now. I've got the Bat sitting in my room, the Bat from the Dark Knight Rises. That's a horrible piece of shit. There's no, like, you open up the cockpit, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in the cockpit. It's just a black box that you put, the Bale figure in. That's it. These figures, they at least maintain, a cockpit and all. You can see the little computers on that. Put it. You can see all that. And now. One more thing I got, I think this might get Hursticon's attention, is Titanus from Mighty Morphin.
Sir, I shake your hand through digital means.
Nice.
Yep, I finally got Titanus, and I opened him out, and holy crap, that guy's massive. The box for Titanus himself is bigger than both the Dinozord and the Megazord combined.
That's how big. It's stupid big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stupid big. I haven't applied the stickers yet, and I haven't got batteries for it yet, but one day I'll put batteries in that thing and watch it run.
I just figured out what the bumper music is going to be for
Yeah?
this episode. You know what a bumper is, yeah?
Yeah.
Like in the Transformers, that do-do-do-do, that. That's going to be the Dragon Zord's flute music.
Oh yeah, the one flute played like 10 different flutes at the same time.
Yeah.
But did you want me to talk about my pre-orders or?
Yeah, if you've got a couple of pre-orders.
Well, pre-orders right now, all of them are at Big Bad Toy Store. I think I've mentioned some of the ones I just added during the show.
Yep.
Let's have a look.
One of the ones you actually, literally added during the show.
Yep. Right now, I've got sitting in my pile of loot, which is stuff that's already come in, is a Jetwing Optimus Prime Revoltech. So that's the Revoltech version of the Optimus Prime from the movie, where it's got the jetpack or whatever.
Nice paint on that thing.
Yeah, it does. Pre-orders right now, I've got the G2 Bruticus set.
Nice.
From Full Cybertron. I've actually got the original one from Full Cybertron. It's all right. I'm not really, because I got the Megazords. When you compare it out to the Megazords, it's kind of not as impressive. And it's just the Masterpiece figures waiting and a Robocop from Nika.
Nice. Is it the holster one?
Yep, the holstered one.
Yeah,
because I got the original. Now I got the holster.
That
thing's awesome.
What's the price tag on that? Because I'm half tempted on getting one of the
$17
Done.
Oh, see that's fair. Because I've got a series of 7-inch NACA Predators, and the detail and posability and whatnot on those things are friggin' awesome. And I was watching a NACA display video of that gimmick of his leg popping in half and taking out the what basically equates to a hand cannon. And yeah, I was fairly tempted by that because I dig RoboCop. I really hope NACO turns around and does an Ed 209. That would be awesome, as well as RoboCop 2.
10 seconds to comply.
Yeah, or RoboCop 2, Kane. I know Hot Toys or Sideshow are doing that, and that'd be awesome, but I can't afford
Hot Toys
$500
is doing a
figure.
RoboCop. Yeah. I don't care how much that...
Kane. I always loved Ed 209, but I hated Kane.
I don't care how much that Hot Toys... Well, I do if it's like thousands of dollars, but if it's only like $250 or something, I'm buying a Hot Toys RoboCop.
Well,
good.
There
Review
is one already released, though, isn't there?
Yeah, they're doing a redo.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Much better. Modern technology and all that.
And,
yep.
One more thing that's waiting on my pre-order is Black Widow. Damn it, she's not coming yet. So, that's about my...
Of course she isn't yet. She's not in your hands.
Oh, shit.
I see what you did there. Alright, yeah, that's me for.
Dave? Actually, I'll go now, because I know Dave's got a big haul.
I'm pulling a TJ Omega on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to wait 6 months before I tell anyone what I got.
Speaking of TJ Omega, I watched his review on Fortress Maximus when he talked about the one he's got, and he said he spent a lot of money on the gun. I wonder if he paid the same amount for an Encore for the gun.
I'll tell you what, people have paid more money than that for bits smaller than the average robot's gun.
Well, I'll put it to you like this, right? Spike alone can fetch up to $400-500.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of people recently buying them. So
Piecemealing a Fortress Maximus. Look, I went through pains with piecemealing Scorponok to 110% completion. I would never even consider doing that with Fort Max.
No, not fun at all. So, yes, what I've got this week, I picked up a few Legends or Legions figures. I got they're all out of the Prime line, but only one of them's a Prime figure. The movie repaint of Soundwave.
Got that too.
Yeah, not a bad little figure. The Evac Legions figure, that's pretty cool. Don't mind that at all. Nice. It's a simple but intuitive little transformation, how it folds out. And the Legion's Breakdown, because I like Breakdown. He's a cool character and big badass looking dude, even though he cops it. But anyway, I've got those, and I also got the Fall of Cybertron Prime and Shockwave. A little plug for myself. The reviews of those will be up during this week at various points. What else did I get? Not a lot this week. I got an iPhone 5.
Oh, la-di-da.
Yeah, helps when you're missing words for it. Help. Huh? You calling me a hipster?
Hey, what? Hey?
You want me to slap you through the computer?
What?
No, I had the iPhone 4, and I've been an iPhone sort of person for a while. I film off it for my reviews, so that's partly why I use it, and I'm just used to it now. I'm happy with iPhone, so I upgraded because my button on my old one died on the top, and I wasn't going to pay $50 to fix it when I knew I was getting a new one, and it helps when your partner works for a telecommunications company. I've got the phone, yeah, that's about it. Got me Akbar a little while ago. That's about all I got this time since the last episode, but pre-orders wise, I've added a few things to my pre-order list, which I'm just going to bring up right about now. For the next 4 or 5 months, I am so poor. Poor. I added onto my list from last time, I've got the revision case of Voyagers from Prime, which has Skyquake, Thundertron, and Magnus in it. That's due out in November. Also, the Generations series that has Starscream, Kickback, Fireflight, Ultra Magnus, and Sideswipe. The PE-12 of Assault Force X I pre-ordered. Again, November. Bloody November's going to be expensive. What else have I added? I spoke about them last time, but I've got the Hot Toys Iron Man Mark 7 on pre-order and the Incredible Hulk. And I've also pre-ordered the MP15 Rumble and Ravage set and Fort motherfucking Maximus. Yeah. So that's my pre-orders.
Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, not a big haul this week. It's a bit tight on money at the moment, so most of mine is pre-orders at the moment. Trying to find a Fall of Cybertron Jazz, but I haven't found one yet, unfortunately. Dave, let's hear your TJ haul.
Okie doke. Well, I can tell you what I didn't get, and that's no Fruity Electronics.
You know what's better than the iPhone? A Nokia 3310. Yeah. That's what
I dropped the
3315
off a amusement park ride called the Hangover. And it fell 30, 40 feet onto a steel decking, shattered into about 15 pieces. When I got off the ride, the guy gave me all the bits. I put it together. I rang my mate on it.
Yep.
The only thing on that phone that was slightly off was the 0 button. Every now and then wouldn't work. That's it. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, Nokia in the day, man, you could not beat them. Could not beat them. But, yeah, for myself, it's been a while since I've been on the podcast here. I have a reasonably sizable list. I'll start it off right now. No, actually, I might wait a minute. Yeah, now it's good. From
Twit.
Ozformers board member Sharky, I picked up myself a Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch Spider-Man figure. He's quite cool. This is my first foray into that line. I'm a Spider-Man fan, and it's not a line I'm looking to go crazy
I'm pulling rank here, and I'm eating a wagon wheel.
Fair enough. They're not the same as they used to be, though.
They're still good.
They are. They're not as big as they used to be. Yes, the Marvel Universe 3 3/4 line, I'm not going to really go gangbusters into that. I just wanted a little Spider-Man effigy. And, this bloke is crazy poseable. There are certain areas where he could do with 1 or 2 more joints.
I just saw that picture.
All right, now I'm going to have to pause and see what that is.
Sorry, listeners.
Sorry.
What are we doing?
Right. I'll put it in the video on the link.
Very nice.
Keep going, Dave.
Spider's quite good. I sort of dislike the fact that his right hand is perpetually posed in the shooting web line going off. Otherwise, the other side,
heavy metal hand.
The horns up. Actually, okay. Now I've just fallen in love with this. Okay, next.
Heavy metal Spider-Man.
Spider-Man just redeemed himself. Otherwise, his left hand's a fist, so you expect that with Spidey. But he's quite articulate. I've currently got him in a pose that's reminiscent of how he likes to lower himself from a ceiling and hang upside down while staring at you. Also from the same 3 3/4 Marvel Universe line from Sharky. I really liked the first Hulk movie. I loved Edward Norton's even more. Avengers.
Technically, that's the second movie.
Yeah.
Ang Lee one. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And technically, it's like the fourth movie because there was a couple with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, look, to me, it's all the same thing. I've been quite partial to the Hulk. I mean, because his whole concept, basically,
there's a reason I'm paying $300 for a Hot Toys Hulk.
Yeah, well, exactly that. I mean, the fact that he's a guy who unfortunately was on the receiving end of a failed science experiment. It's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type story, coupled with the fact that, he's got regenerative abilities, and the more pissed off the guy gets, the stronger he gets. So,
and in some iterations, the bigger.
Yeah, exactly. So, in theory, this guy is quite literally unstoppable. And the Avengers just pushed me over. I had to have a Hulk figure.
You want that Hot Toys Hulk.
I do, but I don't have the price tag on it. So I decided, bugger it, I'm going to get myself one, and I picked up, through Sharky, the 3 3/4 Hulk figure. Awesome bloke. He's staunch, he's stocky. The sculpt for the musculature... now I'm pulling a Chris and can't talk. His muscles and whatnot.
Is this the Avengers one, or?
No, this is the more comic-based one. It's probably a couple of years old now.
Yeah.
The muscle detail in the pants and all that, and the slight like dry brush work over the mold to highlight some of the details is just awesome. The head sculpt, it's a little Frankensteinish for my liking. It's not the worst thing in the world, but could have been better. But yeah, no, I really, really dig this figure, and I don't know, maybe you both could possibly tell me, do you know if they ever did a 6-inch version of the Hulk?
Well,
yeah, they did.
I got the most recent one, the Marvel Select Hulk. It's not 6-inch, but it's a very huge figure.
Yeah, that thing's massive. Just be careful of its head.
I've got that one. It's in my shelf right now. It's standing. It's so tall that the normal 3 3/4 inch figure, like an Iron Man, stands only up to his the bottom of his stands next to his crotch basically.
Oh wow!
That's how big that Hulk is from the Marvel Select.
It's a really pissed off Hulk.
See, I might have to look into that.
I'll take a photo. As well.
Sweet.
It's quite easily attainable, Dave.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And it only costs about $20 on BBTS anyway. So.
Awesome. Yeah, no, because see, for me, I'm a major Spider-Man guy. Admittedly, I haven't read a lot of the comics, if really any at all. Most of my knowledge about Spider-Man comes from the 90s cartoon, and I know I've just caused several people to commit suicide. But it's something I'm willing to look into, because, I love spiders, Spider-Man, 2 and 2 together. I was also a massive fan of the 90s X-Men series. And,
yes.
Oh, yeah, that is the shit. And now Hulk is very much clawing his way up there to be on even par with Spider-Man in my eyes. So I may indeed have to look into picking up another larger effigy of him. But moving along. To listen to me talk more about the stuff that I waste money on,
You will be able to listen to the rest of Hursticon's haul after the outro.
And next week, I'll be hitting up Ozformer's member Sharky again, because for sale at the moment he's selling a whole heap of his Marvel stuff. And I myself am picking up the 6-inch Spider-Man Origins Venom figure. Because I love Venom. I think he's just the coolest enemy like arch enemy to a superhero that I've ever seen. As well as symbiote suit Spider-Man from that same line.
Nice.
But the coolest thing that I'm really chuffed to have on hold with Sharky is the Build-A-Figure. It's from the X-Men Classics line that was done by Toy Biz. It's a Build-A-Figure Sentinel from X-Men. It stands. Actually, it stands right 1.5 inches taller than Unicron Trilogy Unicron. It is a monster of a figure, and I'm so chuffed, so over the moon to get that. I'll be looking forward to talking about that next time. But otherwise, that completes my list, and I thank everyone for letting me bore them to tears.
I'm sure we'll be all right. And that pretty much wraps up our show today.
I got to shoot off now, but yeah, it was nice meeting up with you guys again.
As always.
No worries, mate.
And it was
Thanks for co-hosting again.
It was an honor being on the show. I'll see you guys next time.
No worries, dude.
All right, see you, man.
Yeah.
Remember, if you have any listener questions, to contact us on the Ozformers boards or on Full Metal Hero, where I also have a thread there.
Definitely,
on the pod.
Definitely drop us some listener questions. We love answering questions. As you can tell, I like to talk, so I'll try and be concise, but...
We have the Podbean website, which is http://kalelofkrypton.podbean.com. You can contact me or Hursticon on Twitter. Our links will be below. Or you can contact the podcast directly at Shooting the Shit, which is at Shooting the Shit. And it's actually, the O's are zeros because someone had already taken it.
Bastards.
So it's SH00TINGTHESHIT. So that's our Twitter. Or you can send us an email at shootingtheshit@live.co.uk. So again, that is shootingtheshit@live.co.uk. So plenty of ways to contact us if you want to ask us a question. As always, check out my YouTube channel, which is Kalel Reviews or Kalel of Krypton 87. Dave's Twitter is at Hursticon and mine is at Kalel of Krypton. So please check all that stuff out. Again, all the links will be below in the description or in the thread or wherever the hell you're looking at it. I'll throw it up on YouTube like I've done with the past couple of episodes, and you'll just have streaming audio with pictures of what we're talking about, and that's about it, I think.
Yeah,
so
we'll have to call it
this
there.
was episode 4 of Shooting the Shit the Toy podcast. Our record date again was the 6th of the 10th. So please check out our other episodes. As I said before, we had an interview with Philip J. Reed, who is the producer of Transforming Collections, which is a third-party reference book. I'm Chris, that's Dave, and we're out of here.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Look at these clowns. Can't pick monkeys.
fucking Uranus talk, you bastards. God, I'm going to have to put an extended warning rating on this episode.
I'll always be known now, from now on, as a guy with the Michael Bay sense of humour.
I'll edit that out. But that's the advantage of having a webcam when you're doing this, but then you have to have good bandwidth.
Couple of Lego kits. A while ago, I had a bit of an urge to scratch. Picked up a couple of Lego kits. One was from the line that I mentioned in episode 2 of Shooting the Shit, the Alien Conquest line, which are basically 50s, 60s style UFO invasion type aesthetic. And I picked up the Tripod Invader, which is, if you've ever seen War of the Worlds.
Hells yeah.
The most recent one or the classic?
Original.
The original, in my opinion, is honestly the superior one. But this, I think, sort of looks a little bit more like what you would see in the...
I love listening to that War of the Worlds music.
The Steven Spielberg remake. But yeah, he's cool. It's it's a little tripod walker with this crazy looking Lego piece it's actually like a half ball joint in a cup that forms a semi-full ball joint. It's a ball and socket at any rate. And it has a little directional laser on it, and you can on the back of it has a little capture pod, which with this set, a lawyer and a briefcase is included, and he sticks him in this little green pouch thing on the back of the main body of the tripod, and you can detach that actual fuselage, I suppose you'd call it, and it becomes its own little UFO. So
cool.
It's quite cool. It was a reasonably simple build, but I just like the aesthetic more so than anything. And the other set was from the Monster Hunters line. And when I first saw somebody post on the Ozformers boards in the Lego section that they had picked up a Lego hearse, two things happened. One, I had to stop and take a breath. Secondly, my mouth dropped to the floor. The prospect and idea that Lego, which is very kid-leaning, child-leaning in its demographic that it markets its building block kits to, it had never heard it ever struck my mind that they would ever conceive or think about doing what could arguably be considered as quite morbid in a hearse kit. This is a vehicle that quite literally, I should say.
Stop taking my words that I can't say.
This is a vehicle that quite literally carts a corpse basically to its last resting place. And I've got to say, this thing is fucking awesome. It's
a fun little kit. It comes with a zombie driver.
Fucking oath, man. It's got a zombie driver. Its owner is Lord Vampire with a Y. And it's got this dipshit on a motorbike who's easily forgettable.
Screw him.
But this thing's a blown V8, bloody dragster-looking thing. It looks like what Herman Munster would drive in his younger days before he picked up the Dragula. it has little gold lanterns on either side. It's got the curtains. It's got an actual casket which launches Lord Vampire out of it. It's got vampire fangs on the front of it. It's just, in all seriousness, if somebody could realise this as an actual working vehicle, I would buy it. Unfortunately, my eye condition prevents me from being able to drive, but I would damn well break the law for that.
In your blown V8
I could make a business out of that. But yeah, just really awesome. It's got Lord Vampire and the sticker on the roof of the cabin glow in the dark. And nice. Yeah, look, for $44 at Big W, I could not resist it. Couldn't walk past it. Should have waited for a sale. At least a couple of people have told me I should have waited. Couldn't wait. I had to own it.
That's the thing of Lego and sales, though. Like, once Lego goes on sale, they often do sell out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but what do you expect
sometimes
when you price
just want
stuff so highly, though?
But sometimes you just want to buy something straight away.
Mm.
If you like it enough, at the end of the day,
price,
it's you that matters. If you want to pay the extra, you pay the extra.
Yeah, exactly that.
I think Lego with sales is kind of risky because I only just
it's hard.
I only just got the Batmobile set, and that was the very last one that I got on sale. Like, if I was only like an hour later, I would have been screwed. So
yeah, exactly.
It's good that you got it without having to risking the sale. So
exactly that. I think in the case with Lego, you really have to just accept you're going to have to pay that impatience tax. Transformers you can sort of get away with, but yeah, Lego, if it's something you really like, you really do have to kind of get it then and there. But so if anybody's like-minded as myself, prefers the darker side of life, and the idea of a Lego hearse, which much like Transformers in doing an ice cream truck, I don't think anything like that is ever going to happen again. So, whilst it's there, grab it, because I have a feeling this Monster Hunters line is probably going to end up the same way that Alien Conquest did, in that it'll last a year and then it'll just get discontinued, which is sad because they're awesome. It's an awesome design, aesthetic, and But anyway.
Why did it get discontinued?
I couldn't tell you.
It kind of shell-formed a bit, unfortunately.
It may have. I mean, in all honesty, I'm not particularly privy on the whole world of Lego. I just saw a couple of kits and liked it and wanted to buy it. But, they may indeed have shell-formed a bit. But from Ozformers member Geiger Rock 2, I bought a figure that I've had a couple of times before as a child, but, as you do with it, being a kid and with a figure that doesn't necessarily stand the test of time too well, when you play with it, it basically disintegrates. But I picked up Tonka Bandai's Rock Lord's Brimstone. He's a red stoned Rock Lord, very, very Iron Oxide-ish type colour, with a face in his chest. He's a very brutish-looking figure, and he's been missing from my current collection for quite a while. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Rock Lords. There's only about 5 or 6 more than I'm looking to get, so that was really good. And I've bought a number of Rock Lords actually from Geiger Rock. He's an excellent bloke to deal with, really friendly, really communicative, if you have an option to, or should the opportunity arise, definitely get in there. I had one of my pre-orders arrive last week, which quite literally sent me over the moon. My CM's Corp Gutukuru Moriko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex arrived. She's fucking magnificent. it was really helpful, mind you, having watched Gog Dog's review of
Minerva.
Minerva, Sam's Court Minerva, and just so to wrap your head around how the joint system works. It's as if Sam's Court's whole design approach was that, all right, we don't want to deal with ball joints, so let's see if we can design articulate, posable figures based purely on swivels, pivots, and hinges. And surprisingly, they actually achieved quite an awesome figure. She's got an amazing array of hands to, hold whichever gun that she wants. She comes with a rifle, a pistol, with various muzzle flash effect pieces.
Nice.
She has two different hairstyles. Basically, her fringe swishes to the left or the right, whichever one you prefer. She has 4 different face plates, so varying stages of anger, because anybody who's watched Ghost in the Shell or read the mangas, she can be quite angry a lot of the time. Sculpt-wise, it's spot on, and it's just really nice to have an actually quite tall figure of the Major that basically isn't in the lingerie garb that she wore for maybe 3 seconds of nothing. Unfortunately, that's the thing with anime or female anime and manga characters is, they basically have to go down that sexualized route, and it's just really cool to have a figure where she's armored up in her camo gear and what have you, and ready to kick your ass. Next up, a couple of freebie pack-ins that Geigerock sent to us with a couple of purchases, which was really generous of him to do. He sent me Robot Heroes Rat Trap. It's a little chibi-ified original guy's Rat Trap figure from Beast Wars, and I've got to say, when I received it and opened the package and saw it, I'm like, oh god. You see, because I have done my utmost to avoid these little things, because I knew as soon as I got one, I'd have to get the rest.
Open that big can of worms.
Yeah, it's such a pain in the ass, and there's a couple of really good ones that were produced. Sadly, not every character was done, but it's a can of worms, all right. His expression on his face is so synonymous with the show too. It's a really cool little figure, and I really appreciate the fact that he felt that he needed to throw it in for us. Is
this the one that comes with the Megatron?
Was that the purple non-transmetal dinosaur one?
Yeah.
It may be. I'm not sure.
It's got that look on his eye where one of his eyes is bigger than the other one.
Yeah, eyebrows raised.
It's a creepy looking thing.
Along with that, he also sent, because he knows very well how much of a Soundwave fan I am, he sent us a figure that is quite hard to track down if you don't know where to look. It's not something that comes about regularly, and I actually already had one, but my one was missing the shoulder cannon. It's Boss Coffee Soundwave. He's now, for those Transformers collectors who have the SCF or PVC non-transformable little statues, I suppose you'd call them, the little 3-inch jobs. This guy is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall, and I'd say he's almost more. He sort of looks more like the Marvel Comics of the 80s, Soundwave. Not exactly the shade of purple, but he's blue with white arms, which I suppose is probably a gang moulding thing. But yeah, really cool. It's the sort of thing where you would never be able to piecemeal a Boss Coffee Soundwave. So the fact that he sent us one for free and with his shoulder cannon, I was very, very,
very nice.
Yeah, very thankful for that. Very thankful indeed. Because the main reason why I actually bought a couple of things from Geiger Rock was to finally, I've been able to acquire Transformers Creon Soundwave.
Nice.
This little bugger is cool. He's a Lego-ified Soundwave.
And for listeners that haven't listened before and never heard Dave before, he's the Soundwave guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Soundwave himself.
Well, I'm going to cut myself off there because I know I'll go on for hours. Yeah, I love Soundwave. And this little guy is awesome. The only thing that could have made him any better would be if they included his shoulder cannon. I don't really see how they could have done it without it looking really weird, dumb. Yeah. But what I do like is... interestingly, back in the days of G1, there are certain Transformers who don't have a visible mouth. They hide it behind a cuff or a faceplate. And one thing I remember always since a kid, was what exactly was it that was behind that? And with the movies, they introduced the idea that it's just normal mouth behind an armoured type faceplate. And I don't know, I don't think that ever really quite jived with me. I always liked the idea that, and like alluded to in one of the Transformers G1 episodes where Zombie Prime is flying the, oddly, the graveyard into a sun that it was interned in. It was just like a speaker. And Creon Soundwave, when you take his helmet off, his normal head is quite literally just a face, a grey face with a pair of eyes, and a speaker for a mouth. And I thought that was just a cool little detail. They could have just, done what they've done with pretty much all the other Creon figures, and, it's just a normal face behind a helmet. And no, they actually individualised Soundwave that little bit more by having him just have a speaker for a face.
And it does make sense why he does sound like that if you have like a speaker mouth. So
yeah, that's right.
Well, exactly that it does.
Bit like Bane in the new Batman movie.
But
just speaking through something.
Exactly that.
It wouldn't make sense if they revealed Soundwave's mouth just to be like an ordinary mouth, like every other guy.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. It makes sense that such a synthesized voice would come through what produces synthesized sound, a speaker. So yeah, no, it's a very good point there. But yeah, I really dig that little bloke. I'm very glad to have him, and I thank Geiger Rock all the more again. Moving along. Again, bought something else from Sharky. I seem to buy a lot of things from Sharky.
Sure he's not complaining.
Yeah, probably not.
Ching on his end.
Well, he's a very, very lovely bloke. Very easy to get along with and quite easy to chat to. So, but yeah, he was very generous enough to pick me up as Chris described earlier, the Transformers Prime / Dark of the Moon mold, Legion class Soundwave. Chris was also going to pick one up.
You missed out on a free one.
So I have no problem.
I picked it up I picked it up because I thought it was alright. I reviewed it, and I'm like, I don't really have a place for this guy, so I was just going to send it to you.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, see, I needed him because I'm a mold completionist when it comes to Soundwave, and
yeah, that's right.
I missed out on the opportunity of getting the Dark of the Moon version, which is essentially this figure but silver. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because I sort of like this blue.
It looks alright.
I think it works well, and I think it could have worked well in the movie. I think it's kind of sad that I don't know, may have been a briefing coming, or like an order handed down from Mercedes. All right, you can have our vehicle in your movie, but it has to be such and such a colour.
Yeah, they probably would have said, to have the licensing, it's got to be accurate to our actual vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Much like GM did with the Camaro and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if Soundwave had been this particular colour in the movie, I think it would have made him stand out better, but maybe not against the whole dark type colours that are used in the films.
Yeah.
But it certainly would have satiated a lot of people who thought, a silver Soundwave is a bit dicky, but I mean, let's face it, that wasn't really Soundwave in the movies anyway. It was just a slobbering dog. But yeah,
They got beat by Bumblebee.
Don't stir him up.
Most pathetic death ever.
No word of a lie, Nam. I almost stood to my feet in the movies and bellowed at the bloody cinema. I just wanted to go, get fucked.
Keep going with your haul. Don't get him going.
But yeah, anyway, the actual figure, in a lot of ways, it reminds me of the 07 movie Revenge of the Fallen repaint Barricade Legends class figure.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the head and that.
Yeah, the way the head, chest, and the arms transform, I think the only real difference is the fact that with his legs you rotate them, and his feet, or from his knee down, it basically pivots on itself and folds upon itself.
It's got a cool little leg transformation going on.
It's a fun figure to transform, but to get it to actually stand up is a bit of a pain in the arse.
Without looking bow-legged.
Yeah, bow-legged or like...
He should have been called Bojangles Soundwave.
Oh, don't say that. But yes, again, many thanks to Sharky. I'm glad to have it in my collection. It's not the worst figure in the world, but it's certainly not the greatest. I think I would probably actually say I like it more than the deluxe Dark of the Moon Soundwave, just because the deluxe movie, that thing is a piece of shit. Moving on. Last Sunday at my local trash and treasure / flea market car boot type deal.
You weren't kidding about a TJ Hall, were you?
No, and to be perfectly honest, I'm only just hitting the halfway mark. I picked up Cybertron Supreme Class Starscream.
I love that figure.
I have never really...
It's a big block of unarticulated plastic, but it's just damn cool.
Well, yeah, it's a cool figure. I've grown to like it, to be perfectly honest.
The jet mode is fun, because it's just this massive jet.
If only that cockpit opened. If that cockpit could open, it would take another step up in the cool factor.
Come on, Radicons.
If we had a Radicon saying, actually we do, but anyway.
Kind of, yeah.
yeah, Snakey, get onto it. Yeah, he's a big toy. He's a big robot toy, and for that, I quite like it.
Thanks for listening, guys.